second, baby, just stay in a town. I'm on the edge, I ain't coming down. I get too high, I'm afraid of the ground. I'm young and I'm paid to play with these sounds. Ignoring the call, she shutting that gown. Started at the top and I'm taking it down off the champagne. Took a break from the brown on a rampage. I've been giving it round. Shawty been solid some time now. I'm on line for the wine, dine, and I'm with it. Look where we started and look where we at. I can see where we headed, but I can't see me finish. 3 years ago, I was down on my last. Was stuck at the crib, I couldn't get out of my bed. Then I realized it's all in my head, and I can't go back to the past, yeah. Except now I'm moving, put all in the music for more like a movement is brewing. I cannot picture us losing. I'm sharp when I shoot it, the world is my tutor. She wanna lip lock in public, but know that I'm published, we settle for safety. Not in the street, but I'm on the same muscle, that schedule been driving her crazy. They talk like they know me, but know that they bluffing unless it's somebody that pays me. Keep minding your business, the money been printed, my nigga just gotta go get it. I'm in the zone through the winter. I'm trying to see Rome, see Venice. I'm at the summit, I'm thumbing my budget, my nigga. It's nothing, just part of my I need a minute. I know they live it, admit it, I'm teed up. Little baby, she a teaser. Tell her to follow the leader. I put that weight on my shoulder.
Girl, that laugh.
Lord mercy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shushu. Mandrell will not be here this evening, but I have my wonderful co-host with me, DL Saint, in the building. What's going on, DL? How you
What's
doing?
up? Yeah, I'm discount Mandrell today. Yeah, I'm discount Mandrell. You know, I got a cover for my Green Beret brother. What's up? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I was I know last week we didn't have a show, but I don't know what hit me like yesterday morning when I got up. It's just like all these like show ideas just like flooded me. So I was just like, you know, and they're different perspectives on like different topics that we don't really touch on in this space. So I'm pretty excited about that. Speaking of subject matter, tonight's subject is how to argue. And it's funny because I was inspired to touch on this one because I was watching this video on this channel called The Big Think, and like they have a whole bunch of like videos on like just a variety of stuff. And I came across this one. This guy, his name is Dan Shapiro. He is the director of the Harvard International Negotiation Program, and he talks about. It's a short video, but it gives like pretty much like the 3 main barriers to having effective communication, especially like when you're in an argument. And I thought that was like so pertinent to touch on, especially in these YouTube spaces. We have all these panel discussions that tend to get really, really heated. So it's information that we can definitely like use. You know what I mean?
Tell the truth, Shushu. You got into an argument with your brother. That's all it was. You got into an argument with your brother.
No. I didn't get an argument. You know, we do get an argument from time to time, but you know what I'm saying?
Who be winning?
It wasn't inspired by that. And another thing too, I think is important that we touch on this because we talk about relationships a lot in this space. And so, you know, it's important to know how to argue in a relationship because let's just be real, relationships, you know, people argue in relationships, but don't always come to a resolve. And that's like the most important thing. I think in this space, we have arguments over so many different things, specifically like this gender war thing. And we've been having this discussion for so long and there hasn't been a resolve as of yet. Also like the whole, you know, dating market and how ridiculous the requirements are on both sides, you know what I mean? And there has been no resolve. And like, you know, it's like, how do we get to one? So we're going to touch on some points with that. First, sending love to the chats. Just Being Jazz's podcast. Thank you so much for coming through. Yes, you were the first one to come through. The World Clash, hashtag Team Nova. What's going on? Thank you for coming through. We got Vaughn Bryant in the building. Hey, Vaughn, how you doing? Thank you for rolling through. And, of course, Black David in the house. We appreciate you, as always. So as you know, people roll up in the church in the sanctuary, you know what I mean? We're gonna continue on with the stream. First and foremost, I know DL, when I told you that what the subject matter was going to be used, the first thing you said was, I don't argue.
I know.
I don't. He was like, I don't argue. What do you do there, DL, if you don't argue?
I've gotten to a place in life because I'm older now. So now I'm in my 50s. I don't argue. And thank you for sending me that video, because I was watching the video and I'm like, oh, dude was making some valid points. The reason I don't argue the majority of the time is there's no value in it to me. And there's generally no way to win, because you're arguing with people who start arguing about multiple things, and then you get lost in all these different arguments and you forget, okay, what are we even talking about? Right. What can we hope to gain out of this? So as an air traffic controller, I'm retired. So in air traffic control is logic. At the end of the day,
you gotta be. You probably directing them planes in the air, boy.
It's logic, and it is steeped in rules and regulations and procedures. Period. So anything, any facet, each and every facet of air traffic control is covered in a book of rules that's like that big, right? It is, everything is covered in there, and every rule is written because someone died, basically. So it's all written by lawyers. Yes, that book is big, because it just, if something goes wrong, a rule will sprout out from it, because they're trying to
prevent it from happening again.
Well, that, and they're trying to eliminate human error, and they want to just make humans basically AI is what they're hoping to do. So you have humans who are very emotional, men and women, in a field that's dictated by logic. So when two controllers start arguing, that should only last 20 seconds, maybe a minute, and you pull the book out, and here's the rule. 3-1-17 says this. There it is. Argument over. Right. So after a career, 25 years of that, we're not arguing over who left the toilet seat up. We're not arguing over, who's going to go get the ice cream. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to argue with you over that. I don't care. I'll go get it. And then, you have folks who get mad at you because they conflate arguing and having these knockdown, drag out argument, over love and affection. That's not, no. So I walk away.
You don't argue back. You don't care.
You don't care. And it's like, I don't care to argue. The fact that I'm here with you and I come home to you and then we invest all this time and money and you want to argue, bye. I'm not dealing with it. So
that's the main thing, though. That's how the conversation goes from one subject to the next, because people get emotionally involved in it. And that's how we end up getting lost and off topic, off subject, because people get emotionally triggered and then just start going off on this and off on that. And it's just like, wait a minute, what were we arguing about in the first place?
We were arguing about you not making me a sandwich, Shushu. Where is that turkey sandwich?
Well, had you went to the store like I asked you to get some bread, then maybe you could have a sandwich because we got a bread.
All right, be right back. Going to get the bread. See, that's how I argue. That's how I argue right there. You have a point. That makes a lot of sense. Let me go get the bread. You want rye? You want some wheat? Let me get you some white bread too. I'm gonna get all the bread when I come back, and I'm hoping for a sandwich.
But part of the problem is people are so steeped in their perspective, so steeped in their point of view that they are unwilling to say when they're wrong, or oh wow, you know what, you actually said something or presented something, an idea that makes more sense than mine. Oh, okay, well, you know what, I never thought about things that way. Rather than being open to actually seeing or seeing another perspective, or being open to another way of thought, people would rather just I'm talking about dig down deeper in their stance and just look for any inkling of hope, or any inkling in cracking the conversation to say, hey, see, you prove my point. I'm right, you're wrong, and I'm gonna prove you wrong, as opposed to just stepping back and saying, hey, you know what? maybe I could have or maybe I could have done something a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Being humble. You know what I'm saying?
The
So
you hear Kevin Samuels to say that all the time. The need to be right is not just a female thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just a female thing. I know mad dudes that they got that need to be right. And then people will say, well, it's like that because they were raised by women. Bro, they know they daddy. They daddy got a need to be right too. Yeah.
What do you say? Shame, guilt, insults, and the need to be right.
The need to be right.
Right. And that's what people take into these arguments. When they can't they can't prove or properly articulate their point, they start trying to shame or trying to guilt somebody. You know what I mean? And that's just not the way to go. So like to get back into my inspiration for tonight's topic, I have like 3 short clips actually from the video that I saw. The man who is speaking in the video, his name is Dan Shapiro. Like I said, he is the director of the Harvard Negotiator International Negotiation Program. That's what it is. And he also is an author. His book is How to Negotiate the Non-Negotiable. And I haven't read that book, but I'm definitely, now that I know about it, I'm definitely gonna go out and get it and read it because it sounds interesting. And his thing is, he says how to negotiate difficult conflicts. And so basically the 3 clips we're gonna see, he breaks down 3 barriers to have more effective conversations. The 3 barriers are identity, appreciation, and affiliation. And so, admin, we're going to
and real quick, guys, we're going to do this. If YouTube's been tripping, y'all. So if YouTube shuts the video, stops the stream for a second, don't go anywhere because they'll probably start it up again. So just if it happens, I'm not saying it's gonna, but if it does, hang in there with us. Don't go anywhere. Right.
They short though. So I don't have no. Listen,
they tripping right now.
They short. So admin, cue up the first video. This one is he breaks down identity, what identity is.
Now, first of all, this is a hot issue.
Why do we get so emotional in these conflict situations? It often goes back to something deeper, identity. What are the core values, the core beliefs that are feeling threatened inside of you as you're having that conversation with the other side? The moment your identity gets hooked in these conflicts, all of a sudden your emotions become 100 times more powerful. Boy, this is a wholly different conflict now. It's now your pride. Your sense of self is on the line. You need to know who you are and what you stand for. What are the values and beliefs that are driving me to fight for this stance on this issue? The more you understand who you are, the more you can try to get your purpose met and stay balanced, even when the other threatens those core values and beliefs.
Okay, so first and foremost, let's address the getting emotional in these conversations. You know what I mean? Like, how often have we seen people get triggered on these panels and in these discussions? You know what I mean? One thing he did say is, so how to handle that is, number one, when you know who you are and where you stand in the conversation, you know what I mean? You're less likely to get triggered. You know what your stance is and what point you're trying to get across.
Yeah. And when you welcome the pushback, if I lose a conversation, if I lose an argument, I'm happy because I learned something. Oh, okay. Maybe I need to look at this other standpoint. But getting all emotional, and when it's a relationship argument, the lack of emotion, like we said, will cause another fight. How you just gonna sit there and not say nothing?
Right. But here's the thing too, why it's important to keep your cool, whether it be in a discussion about politics or about relationships, but especially like if you're in a relationship and you're having an argument with your partner, it's incredibly, it's even more important for you to keep your cool, because that's how you prevent yourself from going below the belt, saying something that you're gonna regret later, or that's going to like really emotionally hurt or damage your partner. So often, like what happens is when people start getting emotionally charged in an argument, they start going below the belt. You know what I mean? Throwing up like past traumas or something like that was really personal in an intimate conversation that you had with your partner, throwing that up in their face, and that's never cool. Because like, you know, once y'all do like squash that, that moment is still living in your partner's head. Like, okay, now I can't tell her nothing.
Nothing. I've heard stories of people who've gone through counseling, like couples counseling or whatever, and then one of the members, you know, in the relationship, you know, I'm not gonna tell you if it's the male or female, but one of them will bring up things that was discussed in the counseling, which is illegal.
Oh wow!
Right? They would bring it up.
You're not supposed to do that.
And like, you know, so you find yourself in a legal situation where another legal proceeding somewhere, and this person is bringing up things, information they got through counseling. And of course, yeah, the court's like, you can't do that, whatever. But again, you're never going to trust that person again, ever.
Right.
Even if you work things out, like, nah. So, and again, it's like, why even try to work it out? This person is deeply flawed, which will start another argument. I'm not flawed, you flawed. Okay, here we go.
Right. So we always want to make sure we keep our cool. And also keeping your cool helps you stay on topic, on the subject matter, what it is you arguing about. That's how you quit. You prevent yourself from jumping from one subject to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Shout out to Quincy. I see you in the chat. How you doing, brother? Thank you for coming through as always. So with that being said, we just discussed identity. So now we're going to move on to the next point, which is appreciation. How do you have appreciation for your opponent or for your partner in the midst of an argument?
Each side wants to feel appreciated, and yet the last thing they want to do is to appreciate the other side. That's a problem.
Listen and understand.
When you're in the midst of the conflict, don't talk. Take the first 10 minutes, consciously listen to the other side. What's the value behind their perspective? What's the logic, the rationale? Why do they hold this perspective on immigration or healthcare? Once you truly understand and see the value in their perspective, let them know, I hear where you're coming from. And you know what? That makes sense. There is nothing more in the world that we like than to feel appreciated. Recognize your power to appreciate them.
There is nothing more valuable in the world than to feel appreciated. Okay. So how do we let our opponent in the conversation know or feel appreciated or validated? I say it's a sign of validation when you let them know that you heard them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I heard your point. I hear you. Okay. All right. I understand where we at now. Or I understand where you're coming from. Seeing the other side's perspective. You know what I mean? Because everybody wants to be heard, especially at the beginning of that clip, when he said, you know, each side wants to feel appreciated, yet they don't want to give appreciation.
I mean, you also got to look at the situation and, you know, under what conditions are we having this argument? You know, if we're in a firefight, you know, we're in a military situation or we're in just life and death situation, and decisions need to be made and you want to be heard. All right. We need to get out of this hole, and you want to sit down and have me explain to you why it's important for us to get out of this hole at this moment. I don't have time to sit there and tell you because they're dropping mortars and one of these bombs is going to land in this hole. We need to get out this hole. Right. You know what I mean? So like, then people are mad later. Well, I know you saved my life, but I just didn't feel appreciated. All right, cool. You can be appreciated now that we're safe. Right. So there are, you know, we have to use things in context.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, and it's again, this is why I don't. If I'm in a situation where I'm dealing with someone who's being emotional, male or female, I weigh it out immediately. Okay. Do I need to? Is it that important that I let this person know that they're wrong right now, or can I simply tell them I hear you, let them say their piece, and then we can move on to the next thing, whatever it is. More times than not, it's cool to just hear them out because I guess they want to be appreciated. They want to be heard. Okay, I hear you. That's cool. So when I'm talking to you flat earthers, you guys are trying to convince me that the earth is flat. I hear you, but you're still an idiot.
Yeah. Listen. Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree. But okay.
I hear you. I hear you, but yeah, you was dumb.
What? You reminded me of this saying, it's not enough to be right, you must also be effective.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So even if you're right, but it's not well communicated, what does it mean to be right there? You know what I mean? So like you have to find a effective way to get that across. And one way to get through to the person you're having an argument with, or even just a discussion with, is to let them know you hear them. Like even in the example you gave, like I know you have to add context to it, and you would just, adding context with the example you gave. But like, let's say we're in a high stress situation where we don't have time to sit up here and explain to you why I'm giving you this order, why I'm, telling you, okay, we need to do this. Even in, like, say, a war situation, you still want to know that your people hear you when you're giving out commands.
They gotta hear me. They gotta hear you. They gotta hear you. I need you to take that hill. If they don't hear me, then we got a problem because somebody needs to take that hill.
Right, but that's still I wouldn't say a sign of appreciation. It's a confirmation though. Well, and okay. Like whether
here's another scenario. We're driving down the street. You're driving. Mm-hmm. Something goes wrong. We wind up in the river. And I look at you and I'm like, we got to get out the car because the car is filling up. And you look back at me like, it ain't my fault. I care less whose fault it is. We got to get out this car before we both drown.
Listen, the last thing I'm thinking about, it ain't my fault, is let's get out of this car, get to dry land. Just, Lord, please let us make it out this river. Then I can go in on you. What the hell was your problem? What was you doing? I told you, you should have been looking. So
right. I want to be heard.
But right now, the mission is to get out of this water alive.
Yes. Don't care how we got here, but let's get out. Let's get out right now.
Now, once we safe, once we breathe and everything's okay, now I can go in on you. And just talk about how you don't listen. See, you don't listen. You don't never listen to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then I'll be like, I hear you, but you were driving.
Okay. I see how you get out your argument and say, I hear you. Okay. Yeah, but you ain't listening. I got you. Okay. I see. So that brings me to actually the third point. I'm so sorry. For y'all who don't know, I live in New York City. And I am in the city. So like you gonna hear, random sirens, like police sirens, fire sirens, they hear some people cussing or something like that, screaming out the window. I'm sorry, I can't help.
I'm pretty sure that's your ex-boyfriend. He know you broadcasters. He gonna go and hit that whoop, whoop, just doing it on purpose.
I'm a good announcement. New York City is ghetto as hell, so get used to it, okay?
Thank you. Okay, listen. Don't shoot. Thank you, Black David. He know he live up here too. I can't help the background noise, but just rock with us, okay? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, disclaimer, for anybody who at a major network or something like that, some big time producers with some money, you know what I mean? Just that's call to action to put us in a real studio, you know what I'm saying? So we can like really, have not only quality conversation, but quality, quiet conversation.
That's right. The Griot, y'all out there, y'all need new talent. The Griot, holla at Shoo. Y'all in New York.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the third point he makes is called affiliation. And so we're going to bring up the third video and let him break down what he means by affiliation.
Third, affiliation. What's the emotional connection like between you and the other side? We typically approach these conflict situations as me versus you. My opinion on healthcare versus yours. My party's perspectives on immigration versus yours. That's just going to leave the two of you like rams butting heads.
Find common ground.
Turn that other person from an adversary into a partner. So it's no longer me versus you, but the two of us facing the same shared problem. Ask the other person, look, what's your advice on how we can get as many of our interests met at the same time? Change the nature of your conversation. Now you put these 3 things into practice, it can transform your relationships.
What do you think?
I mean, that sounds really good, and he is absolutely correct. But at the same time, it's pie in the sky in the sense that that's just not how the real world works. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, Mandrell and I'll make this analogy all the time. When you plan for something, you plan to go to war, or you practice and you plan for things to go a certain way on the field, on the football field, on the baseball field, or on the basketball court. It never quite goes that way, does it? It never goes the way that you plan it to, especially in combat. You go to war. I mean, I've been on missions where we get there, we train, and we ready to go fight in the desert, and you jump off the bird and you in the jungle. Like, yeah, this ain't what we planned for. So what? We still got a job to do. So there's pie in the sky, but I like the theory. I like these points. And, it would be nice if people would take this stuff into consideration before they go, crazy off the hinges on an argument over the bread. Like at the top of the show, we were talking about, hey, how come you ain't make me a sandwich, woman? Because you ain't bring the bread back, man.
Right.
Oh, well, let me go get the bread. Because right there, that's the problem. Instead of sitting there arguing.
Yeah. Right. You ain't got no reason to argue, but
and that argument over bread turns into I wanted to go to this show, which turns into you ain't got no money, which turns into, and now you got this big tsunami of stuff and y'all don't even know why y'all arguing. And somebody says they got a little dick. And somebody said, I slept with your cousin. And that all that over some bread.
Right. But I mean, that's a great point, particularly when it comes to like arguments in relationships. A lot of times, like, people have arguments over little things, like little bickering and stuff like that. But a lot of times when someone makes a big deal out of something small, like say, for instance, like with the example with the bread, like, oh, so had you gone to the store and got the bread, like I told you earlier that we needed bread, or, when you went by the store, like I said earlier, you would have bread for me to make you a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And you say, okay, yeah, you know what? All right. I'll go to the store and get some bread.
Now you're gonna say what Brother Noble said. Look what Brother Noble said. There's flour in the house, though.
You know what? Yeah, ain't no cornmeal or no milk though. So how about that?
So somebody going to the store, either to get the cornmeal and the milk, or to go get the bread.
Okay, so he got to listen. We ain't got something we need. I ain't got what I need to make the bread because he ain't go to the store. Dre said, I got the bread. It's on top of the refrigerator. Oh, Lord Jesus. No.
See, look at that.
No.
And then your boyfriend be like, who's Dre? We talking about he got some bread on top of the refrigerator.
Oh, my Lord, no. No, look.
Won't you go on and stay over his house then? Go make him a sandwich. You gonna make me no sandwich. Go and make him a sandwich.
Hey, hold on. What Vaughn say? He said black folks argue different than white folks.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my God. Well, now, dear, and black people be like, nigga, what nigga? Yo, that's so
nigga,
funny.
what nigga?
That's so true though. That's so true. We do argue differently, but like that's something so small. And like, a simple solution, like you said, would be, all right, I'll go to the store and I get some bread there. But now, if I continue on with it, like, see, that's your problem. You'll never listen to me. I told you already earlier, and then you ain't going to do it earlier. See, now you want to go because now you want to set, you know what I mean, to keep. And a lot of people do that.
And instead of sitting down and saying, and instead of sitting down and saying, you know what, I hear you, I appreciate you, I'm gonna say, I can't hear you because you wearing a 304 outfit. Why don't you go put on some real clothes and maybe I can hear you? I can't hear you. All I hear is chicken head. Chicken. That's all I hear.
Being petty. That's what being petty do for you.
Walking around. What's all this dust? You been home all day. Look at all this damn dust. This ain't 8 hours of dust. Only be gone 8 hours. This ain't 8 hours of dust. This is more like 80 weeks of dust.
Right. That's the whole being petty tactic. It doesn't settle a conflict. And like the whole Like, for instance, going back to the where you was just like, say if you was just like, okay, I'm gonna just go to the store and get some bread there. Had like, if I just leave it there, like, all right, thank you. You know what I mean? That could squash or prevent a whole conversation in itself. But to go on and on and on, that is one of two things. Either one, let's just be real, you got some people who do like to argue, like we were saying. Some people feel like if you don't argue, you don't love them.
You don't love me. Yep.
Is a symbol of emotion, of love. It's a symbol of love. It's a symbol to say I care, because I care to make a big deal out of nothing. Or it's an indication of a deeper issue going on. Like, it's not really about the bread. It's not really about you not going to the store. It's that you didn't listen. I tried to communicate something to you and you didn't listen.
Again.
Right. Dre said, like, at that point, it's not about the bread anymore. Like, right. It's the real issue is you don't listen to me.
Or like you said, not feeling appreciated. You don't listen to me. You don't take me serious. I get zero validation from you. And, you know, Dre down the street with the bread right on top of the refrigerator. I can go over here in my 304 outfit and I'm going to reach up for that bread. You know what he going to see when I reach up for that bread, right? Them chicks going to come out the bottom. Them chicks coming out.
Right. And then the argument over. Yeah. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Harris Tribe Media Group. What's going on? Thank y'all for sliding through. Lady Devoy. Yes, ma'am. As always, thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate you. We love you so much. And who else?
And how does the Harris Tribe Media Group handle their arguments? I wonder. It'd be good to talk to them about that.
That's a good question.
Because I know, as good as y'all look on TV, I know y'all got some not problems, but I know y'all argue about some stuff. Y'all got to argue about something. Who left the window open with the AC on?
Right. But you know what? They've been together a long time, and couples who tend to have longevity, they know how to resolve conflict, or they know how to, they have their way of communicating, and they know how to resolve problems.
I wonder if it's a matter of they just know what's real and what's BS. Like, all right, I just know you having a bad day, baby. So let me give you a hug. Let me get you some ice cream.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. Real quick too, I also want to give a shout out to Car's Car. I see you in the chat. What's going on? He said you don't bring me flowers anymore. Right, exactly. That could be an argument. Like, you don't bring me flowers.
Like, baby, I ain't never bought you flowers. That was Dre. That was Dre. So for real though, why don't you go on over and get that bread? Because I know that's what you want to do.
Hey yo, Jedi Mike, what's going on? Go Bob, what's going on, Fred? Thank you for coming through. Another thing. I'm so done.
I see.
I'm so done. Anyway, not reading that comment.
6 footer. Anyway, yeah, I saw that video. Ooh, that's you. Yeah, 6 footer lost that argument. She lost that argument. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, go watch it. She lost that argument.
Oh yeah, that's a way to resolve conflict.
Just throw a hand grenade in there. Boom.
Okay.
It's over.
You know what I'm saying? When you finally stand up and say, "Today I got time," cuz yeah, you can make somebody stop. You can end an argument real quick.
Oh, when you drop that kind of bomb, and you know you did it when they just completely sit down, calm down, and change the subject. Did y'all see what Barack Obama did today? Like, that is over.
Right.
Oh,
okay, talk about that. Nothing happened.
Where you putting your shoes on? About to go get that bread. I'm sorry for even questioning you on that.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, that's an inside joke for y'all who wasn't following it, but that's Jedi Mike is wrong, man.
Yeah. I know a conversation. Oh, hold on. Harris Tribe Media Group says that the second one we know is not each other at this point. Bills, kids, life, but we've been good since day one, 25 years ago. So it's not us. Great question. Okay.
And I believe that too. I believe that. I know, like I said, I know some people who've had long relationships, and yeah, they go through it. But like my man Jay Swans and his wife, they keep it in the house. They don't take it outside, and they don't bring outsiders in on it. That's something else too, y'all. When y'all get into these relationships, and then you want to go get your friend, your homeboy or your girl,
right?
And they gonna gas you up.
Yep. Mrs. She said, oh man, we fought and argued well, just like the rest of them. Rules to it. Never hit below the belt. No name calling, blaming, shaming, hitting, etc. Agree to disagree. 100%.
Yeah. If I ever get into a relationship, which I hope to get into one at some point, like a good relationship, that would be one of the rules. Like we can scream impasse during any argument. At any point, we can scream, hey, impasse. And then that's time out. Time out. Go to the corner. Kids come out, ring a bell, bang, we go sit down, get the water, whatever. All right, we gonna come out for another one? Nah, I don't want to come out. I'm done. Throw the towel in.
Oftentimes what happens is, like, say if one side is hurt, like, their feelings are hurt. They typically start to hit below the belt when they feel like, I want you to hurt just like you made me hurt. You know what I mean? And that don't make it right. If anything,
actually, it makes it wrong.
It makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it really wrong. That's wrong. Because now we have to question how much you really love me. You want to hurt me that bad?
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. You're allergic to the truth. My bad. I didn't know you was allergic to the truth.
Hey, no. She said, learn to communicate your needs effectively and make lots of love. Right. Exactly.
Sometimes you just want to do it, Miss. She said. Sometimes you just won't do it.
Sometimes you communicate your needs in the bedroom.
Sometimes that's all you need. Just won't do it.
He said, I called him a couple of days. I can't help it. You know what? Of course you would. Doggone Noble. That's right. No name calling, Noble. Can't do that. That's not right.
That's funny. Like, I ain't gonna call you a name. Hold on. Where your phone at? Noble said he gonna text it to you.
Oh no. You know what? Can I text it instead? No. Oh, wait. Can you bring that, admin? Can you bring that Von's comment back up? He says, down through the years, my wife and I learned to communicate better. After 21 years, it's second nature now. I know her buttons and she knows mine. We try not to push them. Right. Just having that line of, mutual respect there. Like, if I know what get on your nerves, like, why would I purposely do that? You know what I'm saying?
Von said he know where her buttons are. I'm like, oh, it got personal, didn't it? We in the bedroom. Oh, not them buttons. The other buttons.
Not them buttons. So, admin, if you would, please get ready to drop the link, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to drop the link so you guys can hop on and give your thoughts to this conversation. I like I said, I think it's just really important that we discuss how to argue, because there is a way to do it with, number one, to come to a resolution. And then number two, to do it without causing further damage. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like for instance, on these panels and stuff, when we start talking about social issues, when we start talking about relationship issues and stuff like that, like a couple of different relationship issues we've been discussing for the longest that haven't come to a resolve. It's important that number one, we don't lose sight of what the conversation is. We don't get caught up in our egos and everything, or caught up in one side thinking, hey, I'm going to prove you wrong. Because a lot of people come to the conversations with those intentions. I'm going to prove you wrong. And then, once we get to a point where, you can't articulate your point or your side effectively, that's when we get to insulting, you know what I'm saying? And all that stuff, which is completely unnecessary. And also in relationships, I think arguments are natural in a relationship. You gonna come to at some point you're gonna bump heads, but it's important to know how to argue without causing permanent damage. Because like I said, when you throwing people, like intimate, like details from intimate conversations up in somebody's face, like you know, in a lot of cases you can't bounce back from that. Because then, like, you know, your partner's gonna be thinking like, oh, I can't trust you. So I can't really talk to you about anything like deep or intimate or any of my like deep issues. Cause you just gonna throw it back at me.
Yeah. And then especially when they go looking for receipts and evidence of it, you know what I mean? Back to the 6-footer thing. Like, oh, that's my woman. That's my boo until she says something foul. And I pull up the video. Hey, look at this.
Okay.
Brother Jay,
what is this? What is this?
6-footer, huh? 6-footer? That's what it is. 6-footer.
Let leave 6-footer alone. We need to get 4-footer, okay?
Oh my God, Dre Blanco, what's going on? Thank you for rolling through. Real quick, I want to acknowledge Mrs. She Says comment. She said, in my mind, I don't want to be intimate with someone I just called a bitch ass nickel or low down son of a mug. And that's right. That's true. That's real. That's real.
Unless
that's how you prevent having like that's toxic, and that's how you prevent having a toxic relationship.
But some people, like you said, you mentioned something about damage to whatever. Some people just don't know any better, and that's why we should go get professional help. Go talk to a pro, because some people that's the world that they're from.
Yeah,
and they do need that help. But she's right, dog. I done said all these negative things to you, and 20 minutes later, I'm like, let me get a little bit. Nah, you called me 6-footer. You showed the video. Nah, you ain't.
Yo, you went there? Really?
Had to, brother Dre Blanco. How you feeling, bro?
Man, look, y'all took this conversation way left field, but
that's why Sushi didn't want me coming. She's like, you gonna act right? I'm like, no. Do I ever act right?
I'm not gonna argue with you, because you know what I'm saying, it's just a circle.
Right.
You guys made a good point. When it comes to arguing, you have to figure out what's the purpose of the argument: to be right, correct, or you just want to be heard. And a lot of times what you're saying is really trash. You ain't saying nothing. There's a little bit more going on than just what we arguing about. You left the toilet seat up, I fell in, you left your drawers on and I tripped over it. It's something. And now because I asked you to make me a sandwich and there's no bread, now all that comes out.
Great point.
So It's just, why are you arguing? But a lot of times it's a lot of self-awareness. Yo, if I fucked up, my bad. You're right. You got it. But when I'm right, I'm not gonna be obnoxious about it. I'm not gonna stand on my square, immovable, because I want to hear what you got to say. But you need to and I think it's understanding the points. A lot of times argument is just to be heard, and I don't care what you got to say. I'm in my feelings. Yeah. You want to hear what I got going on.
Yep.
Those are facts. And I want to ask you guys this, and I want to ask the chat this, because they say, black folks, we argue different, but can't the same be said for Puerto Rican, Italian, Mexican, Dominican, all the way down the line? Mm-hmm. So it's really a matter of people not being aware of themselves. Like, they don't know themselves, and then they just fire and forget. Like, sometimes, you can fire, but whoever you struck out at might not forget.
I don't think that's accurate in reference to black people argue different. Look, I'm a New Yorker, and I've heard some Italians, some Irish, some Russians argue.
Dre, leave New York out of it. Let's leave New York out of it right now. We are messing around. Leave them alone.
Argue. I mean, when to some of the stuff that come out their mouth, and they might not say the N-word, but you be like, you have to turn and look to see who it is arguing, because a lot of things they say, damn.
Okay. Okay.
And a lot of things, I think a lot of the things is geographical. So wherever you are is pretty much how they're going to argue. If you
public announcement, if you come to New York, if you hear an argument, get some earplugs. You're not gonna like when you go to here. New York City is a country on its own. Okay, just let you know. Public school announcement.
Because I'm gonna tell you, if you're ever privileged, like if you ever been in New York, you'll hear an argument that's so offensive, you even turn and you sometimes want to take the other person's side. Because like, oh my, yo, did he just say that? Oh man. You don't even care what the argument is, but you just like, yo, I know that cut deep because I'm hurt. That hurt me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't hear that because I'm too stupid with it. I'd be like, bro, really? Is she right? Is it? They got pills for that, bro. They got the things. They got the things.
I mean, but it wasn't like this yesterday. She was, she strapped on and she was.
Oh, there it go.
Once again.
But now it's like this.
Public announcement. New York City is dirty with their argument. They take the low blow. I'm letting you guys know. Please do not come to New York and argue with anybody. I'm begging you. Please do not.
Right.
And shoot, we got the super chat.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Shout out to Dr. Nakumbe for the $10 super chat. He says, shout out to the panel and chat. Thanks for having this important and needed conversation. Shout out to those in the chat. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We're gonna give him a super chat video. I guess it's like,
you never come clean and you never come through. Take your shit and don't come back. Looking so surprised how you could do me like that. This is what we gonna do. You never come clean and you never come through. Take your shit and don't come back. Looking so surprised how you could do me like that. This is what we gonna do. You never come clean and you never come through. Take your shit and don't come back. Looking so surprised how you could.
my Lord. Yeah.
Give my $10 back.
Does he know?
Wow.
Just wait a minute. Does he know? Does he know right now?
I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He gonna find out though.
This is how you end an argument.
Okay. Laughter works too. You can get it in there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you can end up a whole meme.
I'm sorry. Since Deal is here with a comedy, I had to be my own comedy spin because everybody like to use my video for the comedy. So I decided to use other people's video for the comedy. So this is how you end an argument. Period.
But Black David, your video, Black David, though, I'm sorry, bro. That's in the Hall of Fame, man. I ain't never cried so hard in my life.
That's why I'm not playing them no more. I'm so tight. Everybody else didn't get recognition at the time of my video.
Ooh. Brother Noble's in the house.
What's going on?
Everything's good. How you doing? What's going on?
Let me ask you a question. In DL, you see where I'm going with this. Since you're the lone female representative on it, do women argue just for the makeup, or is it really an actual point behind what they have to say? Because a lot of time it's really like all over the place, and I'm trying to understand. You want us to read between the lines instead of telling us exactly what it is, and we were never taught to read between the lines. We facts, ma'am. Just give me the facts, and I can handle the facts. Don't talk around what the issue is. But you're hitting points for me to like, my bad, and then we go up in here and we make the bench press sing the song of mercy. So is it because you want the makeup, or because you actually have a point? Why do most women start arguments?
It depends on women. Some women do start arguments for that reason, but for the most part, when a woman starts an argument and like she starts going like all over the place, on and on and on, it's because it's a buildup of something. It's not just one problem. It's a buildup of problems. You know what I mean? Maybe she don't feel like you listen to her. Maybe she feels like she's being neglected. Maybe she feels like, I don't know, like it's a deeper issue going on. And like she feels underappreciated. It could be like, it's a buildup of issues. So that's really a lot of times what the problem is. And I don't know, we ain't always the best at, on both sides, I ain't always the best at communicating what our needs are, what our issues are. So like when our needs aren't met, but there's always this underlying expectation of you to just know what my needs are. You should just know. You know what I mean? And like that's unrealistic though.
Yeah, that's what make me call names. That part.
No. No.
Okay.
Mrs. She said many argue due to sexual and financial frustration. Yeah, at least that's what I've been told. Yeah. Yeah, that could be an issue too, because a lot of times you in relationships, it could be a tribute to the finances. Like, a lot of divorces happen because of finances. It could be also because, maybe she isn't you're not really putting in the work you think you're putting in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what?
Part of that, but then again, too, accountability. Part of that is on the woman too, because if you have your man thinking that he's laying it down and he's not, then part of the reason you're not being satisfied is because you got him thinking he's doing something that he's not.
But you know what? A lot of times it's not even that. Here's the thing, man. We get a little biology. A man joint is going to get hard just because it's there. But when he's with his woman and she's really and she's showing that she's into him and giving him affection and showing him some attention, oh, trust me, he's going to rise and whatever you need. But a lot of times they want us to figure it out instead of, hold on, look, what feels good to you. Let me know. I'm not the last dude or the dude before that, the dude before that you was with. You know what I'm saying? Let me know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You expect me to find out. You don't come with a blueprint. You may come with a receipt, but you don't come with a blueprint for me to figure it out. I'm damn sure going to tell you how I like it.
They got
about it. Using my
they got a button. It's a button that help you right here on that throat. You just grab it a little bit. You bring them in. You start talking a little. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's just it's a certain tone. You just grab my throat and say, "What's wrong with you? What's your problem?" And then they say, "No, guys, it's not hard. It's just like right there you go."
But you know what? A lot of arguing is really not even like I had an argument today with a coworker. Because all I asked was a question like, "Why are you angry at say DL saying who's a supervisor? Because what he said to Shushu that ain't got nothing to do with you." Mm-hmm. Don't advocate for anybody when you don't know the reason why they're getting their ass chewed out. Mind your business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stop internalizing what's going on with somebody else. And then you come home to your man and DL went ahead and went off on Shushu. Man, if he ever talked to me, well, did he ever speak to you like that? No. Has he ever shown any sign of aggression or even an inkling that he's gonna come at you like that? No. So why are you pissed off? Because he didn't have to talk to Shushu like that. Mind your business. What you mean, mind my business? That's my friend. You don't know what's going on. Relax. Don't bring that negative energy into the house. Let them deal with what they got going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can tell me about your day, but don't get all riled up and emotional about shit that don't have nothing to do with you. And a lot of times that bonding, that internal trauma bonding that women have, I mean, men have it too. But when y'all get together, it's crazy because y'all bring it home and lay it on your man like we supposed to okay. So what do you want us to do about it? You want me to go talk to DL and say don't talk to Shushu? Matter of fact, who the hell is Shushu? I never met. Am I right or wrong?
That's big. Listen, I want to say this. Because I'm really good at arguing. I'm really good at arguing. I like it. I have fun. But see, for some of us, right, arguing is it's a plea deal. It's like a peace offering. Because some of us are very violent, and that's like the most we can do. And then you kind of like got to get it out. And just like you said, it'll be a build up. Like I watch something dumb, and then I watch something dumb, and I watch something dumb. And instead of throwing something at you from across the room, I just might call you a bitch a little bit. It's not really just to hurt your feelings. It just might come out. But then it's like the style in which you argue. Like you can argue and make a point, or you can argue and destroy somebody. I usually try to just make a point. When you try to be a dick, then I'm going to destroy you. Because you know what I'm saying? I can't beat you up. So you got a lot of people that's really violent, like super violent, and then like being in an argument sounds like a stressful. It's like a massage. You know what I'm saying? So I got a name because sorry, Mrs. She said I got to call you a couple names. I don't say bad names. I just say like you dumb, and I don't know why your mother kept you. Stuff like that. It's mean.
Yeah. This is awful.
I'm working on myself real hard. I just want everybody to know that part.
That is awful.
Cap, he love arguing.
That is awful. You know No, so let me ask you this. I'm guessing you're one of these guys who argues like for the making
No.
sake.
Oh no. I don't associate. I don't have like when I'm arguing it's because I'm pissed off. I don't like to have like an anger thing with a woman. That's she want to be choked out and hit and impact and all that. That's a whole different energy. That's love. But no, I don't argue when I'm arguing because it's something dumb. Like don't come on now. Don't be stupid. But I don't like that. Starting an argument to make up. Just tell me you want to be ravaged. That's all.
Referee,
Tell me.
yellow card. I call cap. Did the guy say he want to text it and email it? Get out of here.
I'm trying to find. I'm doing what I can to find alternatives to the communication that may be suitable for an exchange amongst adults.
Texting and email alternative?
Yeah, I'll email it.
Come on.
I'll
You know
email
you cooking. You know you cooking. You gotta hit an agenda. Come on.
Because if I do a video call, you gonna see my face when I'm saying it, and it's gonna be worse. So I just email it, and from a fake account.
That's your solution. Okay, so
But you know what though? Real talk. It depends on where you are in that relationship too. Like if I get into a relationship and it's early on, everybody like to talk about red flags and stuff like that. If I'm dealing with a person that's constantly arguing, or like what Brother Dre was saying, is negativity all the time, not even involving you. Like you mad about something you saw on the street, or I can't believe that police officer pulled that person over there. Like what? Huh? You don't know what? Maybe that person was speeding. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what the cops are doing. You mad because of something you saw on Dr. Phil, and you bring that to me. That's what they gotta go, because I really don't like arguing. It just too many, and I'm out. And I'll continue to listen to you, but I'm already gone. My brother Perry Davis Jr., he's an attorney out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He says this all the time. He's like, women plan and men react, and I'm more of a planner. I sit back, I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm already starting. My exit strategy is already in the works. She ain't gonna be paying attention, but things are gonna start,
disappearing.
Yeah, I'm already moving out. Like I'm getting them.
That's petty. That is petty.
I got one rule. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro. What's the rule? You got one rule?
I got one rule. No, I got a lot of rules. But when it comes to the if I'm with a woman and she keep telling me about the bitch at work, if you're not gonna bring her home for us to have, like don't tell me about that girl at work. Don't tell me about her. If she ain't our girl, I don't want to know nothing about her. I ain't gonna say they lied to you. Cause you know what Keisha did? Keisha gonna come over here and cook. Don't talk to me about Keisha.
That is horrible.
Hey,
I can't do nothing about. I don't work there. Ain't nothing I can do.
Bring her home. Bring her home. I might be able to help us all. That's hey man.
Men are, most men are solution based. Like you gonna come to me with an issue. Okay, well, how are we gonna fix this? It just takes too much energy to argue. And if one thing I don't do is argue when I'm pissed off. My tongue is sharp and I cut deep, and I know, so I may shut down.
Right.
Let me have me for a second, because when I was married, I was like, look, let me assess. It's gonna take me a minute to assess because I'm pissed off. Mm-hmm. Because when you come with stuff, trust me. And my ex knew, I'm not gonna give him any time, because if I give him time, he gonna see everywhere I'm wrong in this, and everything I come up with, he gonna destroy it, and his tongue is gonna be liquid, so she'll come at me, and I'm like, look, you can't complain that I didn't sweep the floor when I wiped the counters, cabinets, did all the dishes, cooked dinner, put it up when you were supposed to put it up, but you worried because I didn't sweep the floor. Mm-hmm. What is it really about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, at the end of the day, my job is not to make you happy. My job is to create an atmosphere of happiness for you to be able to thrive in. But when you want to sit down there and argue about the little shit because of what somebody else have, then you go over there and live with them, because we living good over here. Mm-hmm. There's a level, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, like, I don't know what your perception is of an argument, but you got to have a point. That has to have a reason. And you can't bring up shit that happened 4 months ago and think I'm going to remember that shit, even though I probably will. But it's irrelevant because you let it go. So let it go.
Right.
What did I do right now? You know what I'm saying? It's just like when y'all was talking about the car crash. And you won't never listen. Look. You about to fucking die. This is what you want to do? This is the wall you want to stand on? Fuck it. Let me have it. Because at the end of the day, your ass was driving. I told you to go left, and you kept going straight. I'm like, go.
But you distracted me.
Y'all finna drown in the river. They ain't gonna make it.
Trying to talk to me and tell me like too many different things at one time.
Well, I told you to let me drive, because if you let me drive, you can sit back and go to sleep like you normally do when I drive. And you
meanwhile, the water's just filling up. They fish filling up. Ain't no more bubbles.
We can have this argument on dry land, honey.
Like, and another thing,
you hear the water coming up. You can't even swim. You can't even doggy paddle. I gotta save your ass and argue with you. Come on.
Hold on, real quick, y'all. I just want to give quick shout out to Queen Smiley Rules. Oh yeah, okay. Admin pulled up real quick. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. She says thank y'all for this combo because I need the laughs. Hashtag work be working. Okay.
Admin, can we get real music this time? Admin, can we get real music? The harp would be nice.
Real one, please.
Please.
Sorry for the technical difficulty. I have a little issue looking for it. I'm finding good one. Or else I'll give you this one instead.
That's stressful.
That'll work.
Thank you so much, Queen Smiley.
I'm sorry. I'm taking shot on everybody. I've been taking shot on for far too long, so I'm getting my revenge. I'm on the show.
Uh-oh. Y'all don't put him. He in the admin seat now. So
I'm getting my revenge.
My revenge.
In actuality, you kind of did it to yourself.
Yeah.
It's fine. I got thick skin. Doesn't mean I cannot take my revenge though. I'm a New Yorker.
I created my own content too, so hey.
We are New Yorker. We can take the heat, but we know how to dish it when it needed.
Real quick too, I want to give a shout out to Jay Swans. Thank you for coming through. I see you in the chat. Edward Gilbert, thank you so much for coming through. Who else we got? Nightish. Nightish. Oh yeah. I see you. What's going on?
Nightish in the house. What's good, fam? I see you.
And who else? Yeah.
Edward.
So, thank y'all so much for being here. We appreciate y'all.
Well, let me be honest here. New Yorker don't argue. You roast people. That's the problem. If you're from New York City, Brooklyn, Bronx, or Queens, and you've been to the elementary school, middle school, or high school, all we do, we roast people. So lesson number one, don't argue with a man who grew up in Brooklyn, the Bronx, or the Queens. They're not going to argue. They will roast you with their tongue. And come to roast, I hate to say that. I see people cried. I see people change school because of the roasting. I see people quit their job because of the roasting. And you guys know, New Yorkers are dangerous. They're roasting. They don't argue. They go for the jugular.
Well, it's the timing, and it's the subliminal.
It's more than a timing. I met a guy almost quit his job in MTA. When I roasted him, the whole entire team was laughing to the point they was on the ground holding their stomach. So you come at me, I want to destroy you so your peer can't even look at you with a straight eye. They could look at you every day and laugh.
See, but you know what? You made a point. Because I got told today, like, I hate you. Like, why? Because you'll say stuff in the middle of an argument just to see if people are listening. When I'm at work, because we're constantly arguing about different shit. But this is like legitimate arguing that we having. And I will say something, it's not off the wall, but that shit is, I'm saying what everybody else is thinking. But you so in so in depth in your argument, you're like, and Gio, wait, hold on a second. What you just say?
Well, listening is part of an argument, though.
No, that's New Yorker. We get everybody's attention.
That's how you reach a resolve. Like that's how you resolve. Like number one, listen to what's being said. That's how you assess like what the real issue is.
No, sure. It's the art. But you get everybody's attention to your argument and you roasting the guy. All you did, you changed the status. But the next day when he come in, everybody remember him. And when they see him, they're giggling and gossiping about him. That's the game. Made the guy look so bad, so his peer had looked down on him. Like I said, people quit their job because of that.
Right.
People
Well,
change school because of that.
bring it. Well, real quick. I do want to kind of attach this to an argument that we've been having in this YouTube space for a long time now.
Oh Lord.
Of conflict and how to argue. This whole
I hear you, Shushu.
gender
I hear
war
you.
argue. No. But you're not listening. Dear. I got you.
I'll look for the 4 foot. I'll go look for the 4 footer. Okay, I'll be right back for the 4 footer.
Not a 4 footer. But how do we come to a resolve with that?
That's easy.
What?
With
Well,
the
it's gender
whole
war.
gender war conflict.
That's easy.
Oh, first of all,
it's an issue that we've been having for the longest, and it's an argument that we've been having for the longest. That and this whole just in the dating market, like these ridiculous expectations. Like how do we come to some kind of resolution? Because it's going on and on forever, and it's not getting any better. If anything, it's getting more ridiculous. So, like, how do we come to a resolution?
Well, first of all, number one, we gotta mind our business and start taking care of ourselves. All right. You know, if you're 4'9", but you really like a 5'9" dude, then like your 5'9" dude, don't let somebody else change it. Then stop blaming everybody for the shit that you're responsible for. Like, look, hey, I have responsibility for my
There's a dust tornado coming in,
and then come with a solution.
I think it's
tornado
simple.
coming in right now.
Oh, okay. Nah, ain't no tornado, but
It's the dust tornado I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, here it is. It's goddamn.
Da-da-da-da!
Hey, I sent you a whole bunch of shit, my G.
Is that Vin Diesel? We're from Wish? I'm
There
sorry.
y'all go. There y'all go.
I apologize.
You call him Ben Diesel? We call him Ben Diesel up in here.
Vin Diesel.
Can y'all? My computer's delayed. Y'all can see and hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh no, computer's delayed.
Yeah, say family real quick.
Family.
There we go.
You good?
He just got finished drag racing.
Hey, yo.
So it was 2 men in heels running up a hill. I think the solution to your question should be we really gotta lock up as many light-skinned people as possible because it's them causing problems. Nobody wants to take responsibility for it, and I think once we start with them, you'll start to see a lot of the problems decline because they're the problem.
He ain't beige. You mad because you ain't
Oh, listen, I was light skinned. I was light skinned when I was born, then it fixed.
You was light skinned when you came out.
And I got cured, and I didn't have to go through that no more.
He said he got cured.
You get cured.
Yeah. I was light skinned too when I came out.
Yo, son, yo, B, what's up with these New Yorkers talking about they light skinned, B?
Yeah.
What you talk about, son? Guy ahead, man. What niggas talk about? Guy ahead with all of that.
Let me join the dark skin crew since it's the light skin dark skin thing going on. So I'll pay you the dark skin people for now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Shushu, here's my question. Here's my answer to your question. It's a question. Is another question. Like, what do you expect to get out of this war? Like really, what's behind? What's the prize of this war?
Well, Shushu answers that. I would like to throw out there that if people would find a mate, once they find a mate, their narrative changes, doesn't it? Yeah. Every time you got somebody out there who's, the big time feminist or the big time red pillar, the wannabe Andrew Tate dude, or the whoever the big feminist is, as soon as they find somebody, the world is candy canes and lollipops. Everything is good. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of it is people are just unhappy. Period. All the other stuff, this points, all those points are well taken, but at the end of the day, if they just found somebody, at least for those 3-4 days, they good.
But you know what? In New York, we put at one point. You're right, but the fact of the matter is, once you're in a relationship, all that outside shit, you should be spending more time building your relationship and building the foundation of your relationship, and stop looking at what your single friend who is miserable, who really hating on you because they can't find anybody, and you're not listening to the stuff they say. Man, I want a man like yours. No, she don't want a man like yours. She wants your man because she can't find one. Well, you need to sit down and say, look, hey, till you get yourself in a relationship with somebody you really want to be with, I'm going to have to step back and work on mine here with my man because I don't like the energy that you bring it in. And I'd be damned if I come home from work and you're here before I am, and my man's in the kitchen. We ain't doing that. And that's the thing. Be real, be truthful with your girl. I don't want to leave my girl. She lonely. That ain't none of your fucking business. You got somebody in your bed. Concentrate on that. That's your balance. Your balance is what you're trying to build. You want a ring, you want to be taken care of. You're not going to get that when you want to be like your girls out here who sitting up there lonely, going to bed by themselves, and then messing with dudes that they should be messing with. You don't need that in your house.
See, that's when Brother Noble step up. Like, you worried about your girl being alone? Well, tell her to come on over. See?
Right.
So long as she ain't light skinned, she ain't light skinned.
Oh yeah, I can. She light skinned. She gotta stay on. Because I can't.
Real quick, I want to Skip. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna answer the question too. I'm not skipping over the question. I'm gonna answer the question, but Skip, what are your thoughts on tonight's conversation?
As far as arguing, if we're talking relationships, just my own experience, the best woman that I've dated, multiple good women that I've dated, we didn't argue. It wasn't something that we did. Arguing doesn't work. It just doesn't.
Right.
As far as panels in the dust and crustosphere, and somebody said this S word that the men are allergic to in these spaces. I think it's called solutions. They don't want solutions. How many times do I gotta prove it? They don't want them. They said no.
I thought you were gonna say selfies.
They want selfies more than solutions. I was on the dust panel, and the topic, they were talking about solutions for an hour. They said nothing. Then a woman came on. They started yelling at her. What was your solution?
Yeah, they hate women.
And she said, you know what? I want to hear the solutions. As a woman, I want to hear the solutions from my black man. All you heard was and me laughing. I'm like, man, she dunked on all five of y'all. Y'all know you ain't had no solutions, don't want to talk about it. They don't want them. They want to argue. They want to yell. What about the women's? What about the men's? And beat each other to death with these monkey-ass talking points. What's the next one? About this bus driver, the chick and the bus driver. I'm going to see thumbnails on that all week.
Shout out to Ebony K. Williams.
I don't know who she is.
I do.
But I saw the thumbnail. I heard a little bit. If she don't want a bus driver, she don't got to have one. You're going to force her on the damn butt? Take them bus drivers.
No, that wasn't the argument. Her argument was, she's pretty much saying that men don't earn the way they're supposed to. They don't lead the way they're supposed to, and there ain't no good men out there. So Ayala was like, well, would you date a bus driver? She's like,
who said the bus drivers are leaders? It all doesn't make sense. It's just something to argue about. Let's be real.
I'm just saying, hey. Before y'all go on bus drivers, my daddy was a bus driver. We ain't gonna be talking about no bus driver.
No, I ain't got no beef with the bus driver.
I'm following a train.
If a woman says she doesn't want an air traffic controller.
No,
too late.
This wasn't the point.
This is not an attack.
My point is that it never was.
It's not an attack on bus driver, but scam. What it is that was just an analogy. Would you a bus driver? At the end of the day, and I can't tell a woman what she should want, but if you want a man to be ambitious, get with a man that's passionate about what he's doing. If he's a teacher and he loves teaching and he puts all his energy and love into it and he's dedicated to it, support that. But you don't have to. If you don't, it don't pay, it don't bring any money home, but there's passion and love on it. But if you want to put a dollar sign on a man's value, then that's what you're looking to do.
No, Jerry, hear me out. Here's the thing. The woman said, I don't want this man. It could be DL, it could be me, it could be world class. I could make $4 million next week. I don't want him because I don't like his gums. The answer is no. There's nothing to argue about.
No. Look,
said no.
But this is
give her an Uber back to where and look, go get what you want. That's
the girl. The girl was at
about the man, but the got all the way to oppression. It got to redlining. It got all the way to what about the men? The data in 1822.
I want to hear what Noble has to say.
You don't want the man.
The girl said,
nothing to argue about.
Iyanla asked her, would you date a bus driver? She said, if he owned a bus company. That was the problem. Ain't that she ain't want a bus driver. It's that for some reason, it just being a human is not enough for a girl that's a human. Like she got to piss and shit like everybody else. But anybody
Cool.
that be with her is an owner, but she not an owner. It's kind of dumb.
Cool. No, guess what? She can say, I want to
But no,
do
she can want what she
6'9"
want, but we can
with
call out.
19-inch meat. Cool. Go get him. That's all that needs to be said. Cool. But why try to shame? No, but 82% of men.
We're not saying that. Here's the thing. You can want what you want to want. But when you're overlooking quality shit, you can't complain about what's out there. Your stand is what it is. You have it figured out. You know what you want. Don't complain about what you're choosing. You know
why? My point is, why argue with her?
Don't go down. But it was just an analogy.
No, I'm just saying, why argue with her? Man, I want a light-skinned, two-tone dude that speaks 4 languages. All right, cool. Let it be that you control her, but why argue? Then it's gonna be, what about the men's? What about the women's? 32%.
So why we what about them?
These men's, it'll go for a month.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm gonna put some fact into this. For the past 5 years, a lot of dating coaches have quit teaching women how to get men. For the same reason that I was trying to explain, whereby if you want the man, quote unquote, to own the business, and based on statistics, that's only 10% of the society that we live in. That means a very small margin. Like, let's want to join the Nick Cannon train and get knocked up, be number, 23, 24. I lost count. I'm just saying, what you were trying to point out, looking for a quality man, he's not going to make 7, 8 figures or own a bus. He'd be a quality, hardworking kind of guy. If you don't want that, that's fine. If that's the case, then why are you attacking people who want to get a passport and leave your ass behind here and find a real classy ass woman who's not asking for all that junk? That's what I've been watching and laughing about, because if that's the case, leave that breed of woman alone. Let her die alone. Let her get a dog or a Shih Tzu or a puppy, whatever kind of dog you want to get, or get 9 cats, and let them be.
Black David, you're proving my point.
They spread and then they talk and then they infect young girls. The girl says she would date a bus driver if he owned the bus. That's like saying I date a chick that wear makeup if she owned all the makeup companies. It's weird. It's like, what are you ridiculous? Like, your whole concept is exclusion.
Let me point something out real quick. Let me point something out. Let me point something out real quick. Class, have y'all noticed in the chat and on this panel, I have no idea what the fuck we arguing about.
That's my point.
Somewhere else. Shoot, and this what the whole point of the show is. I have no idea what we arguing about anymore. We just going back and forth.
No, I
do,
because the question was, I posed a question. I said, well, so since the topic of tonight's discussion was how to argue, and we went through basically I showed the video clips of this Harvard professional. He was giving 3 key elements of like how to have an effective effective communication, like during an argument, right? And so one of them was identity, of course, like knowing who you are, what your views are, what your beliefs are, and where you stand in the conversation. That way you can always keep your head or keep your cool and in the conversation, because you know where you stand. And another thing is knowing what your triggers are, so you don't get triggered, because like when when your emotions get involved, that's when the conversation starts going all over the place.
Right. An example would be this. If I was sitting here talking to Ebony K. Williams right now about this very topic, only dating a bus driver if he owns the bus. Mm-hmm. And I were to state, as a man would, well, if you're going to limit yourself to the top 3% of men, you only want the top 3 percentile, and you're older, chances are you're going to wind up, like Black David said, alone with Shih Tzus or weasels or ferrets or whatever. If you're doing that, and that's fine, like Brother Noble was saying, and like what Dusto was saying, that's fine. but the argument would blow up out of proportion because now women are saying you shaming all this other stuff, right? That need to be right, and all this other stuff comes out. It's like I'm just giving you I'm just pointing out a stat that a lot of women don't like to hear, and it triggers people all the time. I don't know why, but Morgan Stanley did a study, and they say 45% of women between 25 and 40, I think it is, will be childless and single by 2030.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why. So, and it's just like, hey, that's just a stat. That's just, hey, this is what it is. So, but you're mad at me for telling you.
Well, see,
y'all prove my point.
I
said was one thing about a bus driver chick. I don't even know her name. And here came every talking point from 2020, 2055, 1976. The next thing is going to be oppression, redlining, just from one comment that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Black David pulled out the talking points. Here come the other ones.
But the question was, how do we come to a resolve?
I didn't bring out that obvious.
What do you think the resolve is? Because
the resolve is cool. Go get your dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying arguing with people who don't. How to say it? Arguing with modern men or modern women is a waste of time because it's going to go back and forth for 5 years, 58 thumbnails. What about the men? What about the women's? The data statistics, the talking points from Kevin Samuels, oppression and redlining. It doesn't matter, and they will never resolve anything. The only thing you can say is the word solution, and then they all scatter. Or tell a woman to go to the gym, and they scatter.
But that was the question at hand. How do we? What's the solution? How do we end?
There is no solution. They don't want solutions. They said no.
No, there is a solution, but the problem
There's
is
5 dust panels going on right now about probably the bus driver. Sierra.
No, I see it. I see that. But here's the problem.
This is what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep arguing about nothing. That's what they want.
Okay, let me give it a real simple solution. This is coming from multiple ethnic groups. We all see the same argument. But solution is so simple and so easy. It gets to the point whereby people didn't realize it's a quiet solution. If women are complaining they can't find a good man who makes money, all the guy got to do is keep their peace, keep their silent, go under the radar. Find a woman that match your program. You come together, you hook up, you get married, leave the one complaining behind. By the time they see a demographic shift whereby the men are getting married more than women getting married, but the women they're getting married to is not the same at their caliber. Either they wake up and make a changes, or like Kevin Samuel said, they die along with a dog. It's that simple because on Chicken Mike Show, it can make it very, very clear. Multiple ethnic groups have it. No, listen. No, I know, but you may take it to talk about one though. I'm coming from an ethnic point of view. Our culture, we have a thing for women who over 30, which is bad. Let's go all over the country in our country. But if you find other ethnic groups, it's very similar, which is amazing. Look at South Korea. Look at Japan. Ask about what they think about women at a certain age group, or what they consider it's a cultural thing that we dated back for 100 years. They don't got time for the argument. They let it be known. If this is how you want to be, we're not going to argue with you. You pass me by, go about our business. So instead of going back on folk with the solution thing, let them be. Let them go on the mountaintop and complain. All you got to do is mind your own business. Let them be. You find the right one, and they see that men are walking away from them. 2 things can happen. Either they shut up, get with a program, or to be on their own. It is that simple. This has been going on before social media.
As a woman on the panel, can I ask a question to the men?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that upsets you all the most? Is it that you have women out here who say they want a man who make a certain amount of money, and you realistically know you don't make that and you will never make that? Or is it that you want the women who are out of your reach?
Well, let's go around the horn. Let's go around the horn. Let's go around the horn so everybody can answer.
Okay.
Let's start with Dusto, Noble, Dre Blanco, and then we'll do the producer. We'll do a man, and I'll go last.
Oh, and shout out to Trey and K-Soul in the chat. I see y'all. Thank you for coming through.
Here's the truth. I ain't never had no woman say, "You aren't making 6 figures," or pull out a measuring tape and ask my. I ain't never sat across the dinner table and a woman started asking me how much money I made. Never. Not once. That's YouTube stuff. If a woman likes you, they're not asking you about how much money you got. Maybe people are spending too much time with women who don't like them. They're not asking about your money, no matter how much it is, it's still not enough. They don't like you. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
No.
Right.
So, Brother Noble, after you finish laughing,
Why did you end it like that? Go ahead. They don't like you. Okay. Bye, sir.
Yes.
I don't even be upset about it. I don't know. I've always hustled, so I don't think it's a woman I can't have. Yeah, so I don't know. That's the truth. I didn't say a lot to you. And if I get to know, I'll forget about it in 3 seconds. Keep it pushing.
facts. Brother Dre.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I stay I live a certain way, I make a certain amount of money, but I don't think that my income affords me a certain quality of woman because I know what I look for and I know what I want and what I expect. So for me, it's not about league outside of my league. It's about the qualities that I'm looking for and just being steadfast and staying on that. So what I get angry about is when women fuck with these low vibrational dudes and they have a bad experience and then they paint all men with a broad brush about bashing men based on the deeds of an asshole. I once heard Nathan said it. Choose wrong, stay long, and when you stay too long, you start getting bitter and you stop overlooking those. You start feeling the trauma. You want to be a victim, so you stop looking at the ones who can actually bring you a lifestyle that will bring you happiness, and start keep dating dudes that's going to continue in that continuous cycle of low vibration and failure and mediocrity. So it gets to the point that's what we get angry. Like, yo, this dude over here is feeling you, checks all your boxes, but he's boring. And I think that's where some men have the issue. Shit, I don't mind being boring when I'm not, but that's you. That's your profession. That's your preference.
Right.
I'm not going to continue to live. And I think if men just continue to live, do what they do, and stop worrying about what women think and who women want to date. If you're on your purpose and you are exuding who you are, they're going to come. You don't need to chase.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be around you. They want to be involved in your lifestyle. They want to be in your world. But if you got to go ahead and run after them like, hey, I make 6 figures. Hey, I drive this and got this. You going to get what you deserve.
Right. Yeah.
I think both of those is the same question though, because you got guys that's just F ups. They just won't work for whatever reason. You got guys that's just unattractive to women and they live things. So for each one, it's like you want a woman that's out of your reach or the person that you need to become is out of your reach. Either one is the same thing. So what I see in this space is that a lot of what Scam is talking about is because these dudes, and I don't care who gets offended about it. A lot of these dudes are mad that other dudes can make the change or already are that type of guy that the women want. And they be rallying for you to be incels like them. Like a lot of these dudes be simping for other dudes. And a lot of these dudes will use simp to guilt trip you out of flirting with a chick. I'm not going to name no names, but I watched this young dude speak to a woman in the chat, and then this other dude who was well known said he was simping just because he was speaking to her. So simp means it's an insult to heterosexual males, and that's really what's going on in this space. It's pretty.
Or you in a relationship, you loving on your woman, and they saying you simping for your woman. I haven't met a man yet that don't simp for his wife.
Right, you should send for your wife if that's your wife. Black David never got to get his, and I'll go
Oh,
after
go ahead.
Black David.
I always say that from a cultural standpoint of view. What we teach our young boys is this: build your foundation, which is your educational foundation, your financial foundation, your structure. Don't go after a woman who's nothing but smoking. Mm-hmm. Find a woman who will sit to your program. This is what I'm trying to teach my son. If a girl or a female trying to tell you're born because you don't have no swag, that's just on them. It's not on you. Leave them alone, let them be. And to This guy, Trey, here's something about the Bible. The Bible said for Isaac, they had to go to another land, another country to find a wife. That being said, if I have to set my son up to find a good woman for him, I don't mind going outside the country to find a good woman for him better. That being said, my son don't have to deal with the crop of bad garbage that we have in the country today, who you or what a man's supposed to be is completely out of whack. I want to stir into the right direction to get the best crop. If I had to go to Japan, I would go to Japan. If I had to go to South Korea, I would definitely go to South Korea. If I had to go to my country, Africa, so be it. American women are the only women on the planet. The Bible says, he that find a wife, find a good thing. I'm trying to find my son a good thing. Not a bad thing, not a rotten thing, not someone will give him diabetes, heart attack, migraine. We don't need that. So this is how we in our ethnic group teach our young boys. Leave the garbage alone. They're there for playing around, plaything. You find a real thing,
That's
you
right.
find the one that's legit.
Leave them
You
nice
don't
and
have
alone.
to argue with. You don't have to argue with females like that. Leave them alone. Let them be. They're like weed.
So I would. It was funny you said something like I ain't gonna lie to you before I get to my part. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't never worried about a woman giving me diabetes. I worried about her giving me other stuff. I don't think you get bumps from diabetes, but I was I wasn't worried about that. All right, here we go.
It's
Two things I
horrible.
want to
It's
say.
horrible.
Two things I want to say. We live in an upside down right now, right? Simp or simpleton, right? A simpleton. That is an insult, gentlemen. 304, ladies, boss babe, 304. That's an insult. We're in the upside down where people are trying to claim that and say it's a good thing. And I wanted to clarify my own point of view because I'm like, oh, you're supposed to simp for your wife. No, you're not. And Brother Trey said it in the chat. You're not supposed to simp for your wife. You're supposed to be the man of that relationship. And that means you're going to take care of your wife. So we got to be real careful not allowing these people to take a word like simpleton or a slang term like simp and make it a good thing. Brother Noble was right. There's a lot of guys out there who have given up. It's the whole crabs in the bucket thing. They're trying to pull other people down. Now, when it comes to, to Sister Shushu's question, when it comes to women, I'm not bragging, y'all. I'm not talking shit. I'm just going to share a little bit of my life. I've dated the entire spectrum when it comes to women, every community, right? And in every social class. I've dated the brokest hood rat chicks to the most wealthy millionaires, right? There is no difference between these women. And I am not the brokest man on the planet, nor am I a millionaire. So just so y'all know, if you have game and you have the ability, you have the wherewithal and the social ability to make a woman laugh, it doesn't matter how much money she makes. Now, the thing is this. A woman is not going to spend her resources on you forever. You're going to have to produce. No matter what people say or whatever. I'm not mad at Ebony K. Williams for wanting what she wants. And I'm not mad for the Pookies and Ray Rays for smashing fat girls, fat white girls in particular. I ain't mad at them. You know what I mean? They need loving too. But at least they out there getting it. Most of these dudes, these bottom 80 basement dwelling cats to be in these different worlds, especially in the manosphere, because that's where I'm at. These dudes are lost. And it's what Brother Noble said is just like, I'm really like, yo, you're right, bro. These dudes want to drag you down. These dudes are mad at you because you have the ability to have a conversation with a grown-up and they don't.
Yep.
And that's what it boils down to. As for the women, hey, ladies, go out there and do what you want to do. Shoot your shot. There's a sister out of Oakland, right? That married into the royal family. So it can be done.
Right. Okay.
But that's the only one I know. And that family ain't been right since. You know
Right.
He was waiting to throw that in.
Bang, bang, bang.
Okay. Shit like that.
Shit like that.
You're right, D.O. Noble's right as well. But you know what? You have so many.
Yo, you're wrong. I'm speechless.
You have so many social awkward dudes out there that don't have the wherewithal or even know how to say hello without stuttering. Shushu walk on the scene and they stuck. But then you let somebody, what's up, Shushu, get a hug. Now they hating on you. How you do that? How I do what? Say hello. Don't you know how to speak? It's the conversation. That's the hard part. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? And being true to your word or who you are as a person. Like, I don't worry about who who likes so and who this and that, and that. Like, look, hello, how you doing? A woman's gonna choose just as much as a man's gonna choose. You're gonna shoot your shot. If she's receptive, she's gonna shoot her shot back, and then y'all just go ahead and work it together. But the fact of the matter is, you can't worry about somebody else, talking to a female and getting game. He ain't simping. He got game. But a lot of times, what's going on now, especially we're in the digital age, everybody want to meet women on the line, swipe left, swipe right. They want to meet men online. There's no interaction anymore.
Nah, brother Dre, they want cheat codes, bro, because everybody's lazy and everybody was told they get a trophy. Don't forget about that.
Let me give you my analogy. There's a race. They don't want to start the race. They want to show up at the finish line and be rewarded and praised for being at the finish line when they didn't have to go through they didn't learn the lessons that come from running that race.
Yeah.
So when you sit down and tell them like, no, this is not what it is. Why not? I'm here. No, but you bypassed everything you need to learn how to be the woman you need to be for the man you want.
Mm.
You want this man when he's busted his ass, failed numerous times, now succeeds, and now you want to come in and you think you're entitled to the bounty. No, start the race. Understand what it takes, because like with my consulting business, I deal with a lot of women who have this ideal that being an entrepreneur is the greatest thing in the world and it's easy to do, and it's like, no, it's not. Right. Just because you made $10,000 this month don't mean you're gonna make it next month.
Okay.
But it's an overall perception in the lose because they're being fed misinformation. Some dudes in the red pill being fed some bullshit. Women are being fed some bullshit. And the fact of the matter is, everybody's so confused they don't know which way is up.
Right. No, when you lie, they buy. That's real talk. My brother says this all the time, like, oh, you want the NBA player, but you weren't there when he was in high school and AAU taking them shots. You weren't there when he was in the gym working. You weren't there when he was rehabbing the ACLs and all this kind of stuff. You weren't there. You weren't even there to help him cheat on the test to get through the college program or whatnot. But now that he got the deal,
I ain't go to USC though. How I supposed to know him then? I ain't go to USC. He should have went to Alabama State. That ain't my fault.
He had Alabama State too. You know what I mean? He had, you know what I mean, Tuskegee, A&T, whatever the hell them schools is called.
He ain't at Alabama State.
The fact is, nobody want to put in the work. Everybody want to wait at the end. Why? Because they've been told we're living in a society where everyone's been told you get a trophy. Like I say this all the time. When I talk to these dudes in the manosphere, these random dudes, man, they get to talking crazy. Have you ever been punched in the mouth, bro? Real talk. Or have you ever been punched in the mouth? No. Then like, shut up. Go out there and get punched in the mouth. Go join the dojo. Go out there and see what it's like to get kicked in the teeth, because that's the real world. Everyone doesn't get a trophy. Only winners get a trophy. If you want to be a winner, go out there and do the work. So I'm
glad you said that. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Other ethnic groups are watching this. Coming from an African background, they're teaching the young kids that they will work for a woman just like that. Period. It's not just African people saying it. Other ethnic groups are doing the same thing. I live in New York City. Sometimes you eavesdrop in people's conversation. You start to know what they're telling their own young generation not to do. Avoid these kind of people. These are the people you call the drain. They will kill your legacy. They will kill your foundation. Will take your resources. Like the dude.
I got to stop you right there, bro. You tell your kids to do that, they're gonna do the exact opposite. Why you think hip hop is so crazy? Why you think all these Pookies and Ray Rays are going around here? You got all these mocha babies getting dropped out by all these white girls. I ain't mad at that, but you tell them, like, you look at Paris Hilton. She just tried to destroy that legacy there. She didn't listen. She did the exact opposite. No, I don't believe that's the case. And
what about a soccer player who did what he did? He put all his assets and stuff under his mother's name. So when the divorce came, you wouldn't thought you would get his bank account, not like, oh, my bank account, my house, all my assets under my mama name. So
that dude got lucky because he was in Spain. If that happened over here in America, he'd be getting wrecked in divorce court like everybody else. He got lucky. That wasn't him being brilliant. That was him not playing for Manchester. If he played for Man U and he was in the UK, he'd be getting bent over right now. He got lucky. I'm glad he did. Let's keep it 100, y'all. But this is another thing. Quit selling people what they want to hear. But when you lie, you buy. Shout out to Derek Jackson. You see what it is. If I wanted to be in the manosphere and make $10,000 a month, I could go tell these bottom dwellers, whatever they want to hear. They'll buy all my products and do all my shit and go hang out with me in Miami and party and pop bottles that they buying from me, and they would love it. But I'm trying to help people. I'm not trying to hurt them. And speaking of helping people out there, y'all talking about making $10,000 a year. You can do that. The FAA is hiring air traffic controllers. You can't be over 31. If you're 30 or younger, no experience necessary, y'all. I did a video on it. Tell your nieces, your cousins, your sons, your daughters, you can be an air traffic controller, FAA air traffic controller. You'll be making 6 figures. You want to level up? Here's your opportunity. No experience necessary. Paid training. It's tough training, but if you get through it, you'll be like me. Look at me. I'm retired, y'all. I'm still pretty. Shout out to Muhammad Ali. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
I'm the greatest.
Well, my thing is this, like one of the third point that in the video, the third clip that I played was basically when it finding a common ground, right? How do we find a common ground? Because righteously, we all want the same thing. We want companionship. You know what I mean? And whether that be in the form of a marriage or a relationship or just really good friends with benefits. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we all want companionship. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, how do we come to that common ground?
We need to be.
You got to do the impossible. You got to be willing to. All relationships break up because of one thing. People decide, or one person decide not to be vulnerable. That's it. Nobody wants to be vulnerable for obvious reasons.
Be individual.
Say it again.
Ladies that are undercover rich men here.
Here's the thing. Okay, like even Scam brought it up. You know, everybody brought it up. You had all these talking points, right? Women are adopting these talking points,
and they're all lies.
All this other stuff, right? Be an individual. You know what you like. You know what you want. But you'll publicly say whatever you think everybody wants to hear because you don't want to be an individual. If you like what you like, that's a common ground. Because if you go out there and you see, hey, you know what? You know, Noble, that's a smooth brother. She goes over there and starts up a conversation with Noble. Forgets about the norms or whatever. She likes him. She talks to him. He likes her. They build. She don't care about, well, Shushu likes this. Well, I like this. It's more Shushu like this, so I like this too. Well, if Shushu like this and Keisha like this, well, maybe I should like it too. Opposed to saying, like, nah, be an individual, know what you want. First of all, know who you are as a person and what you want.
Right.
Or what a relationship looks like for you.
Right.
Not what it look like for somebody else. What does it look like for you? First, have to understand, man and woman, what does a relationship look like? What do you want? What is your true expectations, not your delusional expectation? What are your real expectations? Then when you have a conversation and you set your boundaries, like, look, this is what I want.
Right.
This is what I want, and I won't deviate from it.
I think the other thing is, let me say this real quick. I think the other thing is we always try and reinvent the wheel. We always supposed to have a common ground. It's supposed to be called religion. But miseducation and
misinterpretation of the Bible,
etc. That whole deal is the problem. And like with me, I look at it from a completely different perspective. I don't have that stupid church song and all that dumb stuff with it. It's just, I make it simple. When I look at the Bible and I look at the one they call Jesus, every time he talking law. Every single solitary time. Right. He just follows the law. That's it. He said, Psalms 82 verse 6 says, isn't it not written in your law that ye are gods, for ye are sons of the Most High? He talked law. So people have a screwed up perspective to where in 2023, we like, where's the common ground? We have the common ground, but that's how bad it is. We can't, because we know people refuse to be vulnerable. Come back to the conversation of religion and come back to the conversation of structure, come back to the conversation of where you messed up publicly and be willing to hurt. And that's it. People want to avoid pain at all costs.
Hey, can I do something real quick? Just real quick. Can we go around the horn? We're going to start with Black David, go to Brother Noble, Dre, Scam. Can we give a real quick answer to Shushu's question? Just a real quick one. Can it be salvaged? Can we come up with a way to bridge this gender war? Is it possible? Brother David, real quick. Yes or no? Is it possible?
Oh, no.
No? Brother Noble.
No. Yes. I say hell no. Not no. Hell no.
Hell no. You got a hell no from me. Brother Noble says yes. Brother Dre, is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Scam.
Not without the help of the trolls. No. Mm-mm.
So it's not possible.
Not
No.
without the trolls. It's gonna get worse.
I say it is. I say it's possible. It just takes work. So, Shusha, I was just trying to get you an answer before we get lost in the next argument.
Work.
Okay, gotcha.
Work. What is that?
No. What was the next question I was gonna ask? I forgot.
Trey says no.
That house is burned down. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say. And I think this is gonna be my topic for next week. The art of negotiation, because negotiation is a big part of life. Everything in life, we negotiate everything. In relationships, negotiating it's called compromise. You know what I mean? What are you willing to compromise, or what are you willing to negotiate? Because the bottom line is, on both sides, negotiate something has to be negotiated.
Public announcement. Public announcement.
Give and take.
It did a Category 5 chaotic storm coming in real soon. Category 5 chaotic storm coming soon, very soon. Just let you know.
No, it's not. Because I'm gonna tell you like this.
Something called a
I'm
solution.
gonna give you an example. I'm gonna throw something out there.
Dumb.
A woman says, I want to be taken care of. I don't want to work. I want to, be pampered. I want to be like, well, okay, you could get that, but no, my compromise is no longer in your vocabulary. You want all this? You want me to sacrifice? You want me to make sure that you never have to lift a finger? No, it's no longer in your vocabulary. Anything I ask for, I should be able to get. You don't want to contribute to the household finances. You don't want to cook. You don't want to clean. You just want to be a princess and do nothing. No has been omitted from your vocabulary.
Okay, so basically, whatever you ask.
Yes.
You
get what you want. I get what I want. There goes the compromise. No is gone.
Yeah, I just got one comment. The scamisphere is founded on a lie. The content creators who have the most 100, 200 plus thousand subscribers, lives are screwed up the hell the most in the public eye. How in the hell you plan on solving something in this? Fake ass marriages, or the ones that's married telling you the talking points to help keep you single. The blackity blacks spend all their time beefing with other black people or black stuff. The chameleons, what in the hell we expect them to come on solving something? Just come in here and troll these fools and get it over with. Just join the trolls. It's all founded on a lie. Half the manosphere dudes is fat.
Yes.
The ones that talk about black women this and we love the black, they got white wives and don't get me started.
That's the one comment.
I'm done. That's it. We're gonna save everybody. We're gonna get people married. Okay. Get your super chat money, troll these people, and call it a day.
Not get your super chat money. Real quick, so we go wind the show down in a minute. Chaotic Truth, thank you for coming through. I'm not sure how much of the show you've heard, but what are your thoughts on how to? Well, the topic of the show was how to argue. And it led into this everlasting, ever-going gender war that just seems never-ending. One of the points that were made tonight in terms of how to argue is coming to a common ground. How do we come to a common ground in this? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. How do you come to a common ground? I don't know. I mean, like I said, arguments are going to happen. I don't know. Go for a walk. Talk about it. I don't know. This, the cliche talking points. I don't really have anything too much to say. I saw you guys were live, but salute to you guys. I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but when me and my wife argue, I just, it's like, can we just go for a walk or something? Just chill. I feel like most dudes need to just chill anyway. I think women are just emotional. I don't know. I've been drinking too, but what's going on?
Oh my lord.
What's going
Well,
on?
thank you for coming through us for love. We appreciate you.
Oh, come on, don't do that.
We appreciate you.
I mean, on a mango right now. You guys ever eat mango?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you on a mango right now. What's
So
going on?
Shushu, I like your hair. I like how it's switched to one side. I like the hoop earrings.
Well,
Oh
thank you.
God.
Appreciate
Give
it.
a 90.
I'm about to say something noble just because I want to get the laugh. Big sandpan, pinned in G's. No, I'm just playing.
Oh my god.
That's what we need to come away from, y'all, because Brother Noble know how to holler. Holla, 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 holla. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask the panel a question? Can I ask the panel a question? Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't what I think we as black people, we should have like more panels talking about like science and shit. I feel like we talk about relationships all the goddamn time. Do you guys ever get bored of that shit?
Are you asking fat people to talk about science?
I'm about to joke. What?
Shit.
Listen.
You can't make up stuff with science, so they don't want to talk about that.
Well, relationships is always a topic that like so many people are interested in. Of course.
I know, right?
One of the points I was making at this point, in order for any kind of progress in the conversation to be made, there has to be some kind of negotiation. And number one, there is no the arguments that go on like on the panels, the arguments that people are having in this was it the dating marketplace or whatever. No one wants to. There's no effective communication because no one's listening to the other. People have unrealistic expectations. Everyone wants to stand on their side and not compromise, not yield. So, you know, I was just like, you know, how do we come to a resolve?
Do you feel like Shushu, the resolve in America could be? You ever notice like when white people date black, when black people date white, we tend to be happier. Maybe we should all just like divest from each other. You know, on my panel last. Give me a second, Scam.
Why don't you do it first and tell us how it works?
Last night,
exactly.
Well, I had a gentleman call on my panel, and everybody kept asking why he was laughing, and he was a black dude, you know. And I said he's laughing because he's with his wife is white. I said whenever a black man is laughing, he's with a white woman. Maybe to end all this debate, people just need to date outside their race, man. I mean, I feel like everybody treats other outsiders differently. Maybe we all need to just. I mean, not me. I'm already married, but maybe we should just divest, man. Keep it real.
Chaotic, you're proving my point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. I've been drinking, so go ahead, man. I'm sorry if I cut you off. Sorry. Go ahead.
Right. The bullshit content creators, they do one thing and they tell you to do the exact opposite and get super stressed out of it, like what you just said. That's it.
Lady Devon, thank you so much for coming up on the panel.
Talk about cigar.
Hey, I know you've been
I was repping
for a minute. What are your thoughts on the show tonight?
Well, obviously, the first thing, you can't argue by yourself. One. So, my thing is, when you're younger, I get when couples argue so much, but when you get older and you still that same couple and y'all still arguing and it gets more and more, you know, crazy, y'all just immune to it. That's what I seen. I seen that, and rest in peace to somebody who was in that situation. And I used to sit out. They were so used to each other that they were arguing, and it'd be so toxic. And then they would call each other names and stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, when I was younger, I used to argue a lot. But when I got like to this age, I find my common ground. I like peace. I really do. I love peace. I've been through so much to not want it. So, and my mom always tell me you can't argue by yourself. So, if I don't want to talk to you and there's a period behind it, it's a period behind it. Trust me, I don't have to listen to you. And if you want to argue, go ahead, talk to me. Don't talk at me.
Yeah.
That's how you can do that.
Can I ask her a question, Shushu?
Go ahead, Chaotic. Hey, Chaotic.
How you doing?
You know I watch you.
Thank you so much. I got one question for you.
What?
Dark or light? Which one you been drinking tonight? Keep it real.
Neither.
Mm.
I don't live in Disney or TV land. I live in reality, baby.
Hey, chaotic. If
That
you
doesn't mean you
marry
drink
dark,
alcohol?
why do you keep drinking light?
Next.
Say what?
If you marry dark, why do you keep drinking light?
Okay, so
I don't get what you're asking me, bro. What happened?
Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Shushu. What's your
Shushu.
so I think we're coming up on like the 2-hour mark, so we are going to bring this stream to a close. We're gonna go around the clock. Final thoughts on how to argue, and how can we apply that to YouTube space?
Well, I think I'll go first. I think I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You can watch my videos on how to argue effectively and annihilate people every day, twice on Sunday. So you can get that extreme covered up because I'm unfuckwittable. And that's just that. So there's that. I think I do think I think in Palestine, I think they have debate in their education. I think debate is very educational because pain is the best teacher. And when you get embarrassed, it helps you retain information. Overall, I think you need to think.
He's kind of breaking up. Can you guys hear him?
Yeah, no, but you're breaking
Your
up a little bit, bro.
audio. Your audio.
Yeah, somebody was calling me on Facebook. Can you hear me now?
Yep, you good.
Yeah. One movie I watch, I always recommend. I reviewed it when I first started my channel was Revolver. Yeah, it came out in 2005, and one of the lessons they said was you can only get smarter by playing a smarter opponent. So I do like arguments because it helps people get better. It's just the problem is they're not transferring that value to results. I like solutions. I don't like solutions. I like results. And I think when people focus on that, we'll see changes. I think it is changing, but it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. And I think that's what we've been saying for the last 2 years. So we'll get there. And if somebody got a problem, just send them my way. I'll teach them a lesson. I'm good at this.
Oh, well, I'm sure you will. With the etymology, okay?
Everything.
But thank you so much, Noble.
Always. I appreciate you.
Noble, y'all check out
Hashtag Team Shushu.
We appreciate
I'm out.
you.
Peace out.
Peace, bro.
Next on the docket, Chaotic, what are your final thoughts? You still there?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What'd you say?
What are your final thoughts on the matter?
No, I know you guys can't see me, but you know, like I said before, I saw you guys were live, and my final thoughts is this. I think we should focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I think we talk too much about relationships. And I say this, and I keep on saying it: divest, divest, man. That's it. You know.
So when you divesting? When you divesting,
What?
sir?
It's not me. It's just I would just tell younger people like Gen Zs, you know, date outside your race. I feel like other people treat you better.
So can you show us? Can you be a living example, sir? Can you back
Give me
up?
an example. Are you kidding me? Where do I start at? Okay, I'll give you an example. Look at the youngest Kardashian.
Actually, I was asking you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I gave you an example.
Can you show us how it's done?
No, sir. I can't show you how it's done because I don't date outside my race. I date my wife is black. But what I'm trying to say. Okay, well, you may have proven your point, scam, but sir, I'm just saying in general, you know. Go ahead.
Well, you know what? We thank you, Chaotic, for pulling up. Either way, you know what I mean. See us live, you roll up. We appreciate you. You know,
I was drinking malt liquor. I'm sorry. You
got to lay off that malt liquor, brother. You know what I'm saying? You got to lay off that. That ain't good for you.
You guys
ain't good for you.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't really drink. I just, I'm just celebrating something. But guys, have a good one. Peace. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
See you later, chaotic.
Have a good one, sweetheart.
See you in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Lady Devoa, thank you so much for pulling up. It's always
I have to show you some love because man not here, so I gotta show you some love.
Right.
Plus, this is a good topic. It's a good topic, and it needs to be, because everybody right now they talking about the Ebony stuff and the Steve Harvey stuff. Like we talking about something different. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of had a solution and like don't do that, but it's better than talking about the same stuff right now that I'm talking about. But anyways, like I said, stress kills. Stop arguing. It's not fun. That shit is whack. Find your peace and don't listen to chaotic because it don't matter what culture you from. Y'all always keep talking about these different cultures. There's a lot of beautiful black women and handsome, good black men out there still. Just because you ain't even found one and seen them don't mean they ain't out there. They are out there and they're tired and they just want, to make sure they have a good one. But stop arguing and nagging so much because it's going to kill you. And once again, you can't argue by yourself. By me saying that, when somebody is arguing, especially if they toxic and they want to keep arguing, let them argue. They get madder when you don't respond to them. Put your earplugs in. Tune them out. Find your peace. There's too many people out here sick and they don't know why.
Right.
Y'all know me. I'm going to keep it 100. Like I always tell people in the chat. Keep it 100 first, then respect. That's the only thing I say. I love you, Shoo. David, you silly. I ain't gonna say nothing else to you. That's my brother now. That's my brother. Dre Blanco. Salud. Hey, Dusto. Bring the Dusto fair bag, bro. Your house is ready. You moved in enough. You can bring the Dusto fair. You already got your arms out. You ready. You comfortable. So bring the Dusto Deacon DL. I love you, man. You already know. Keep the shit rolling. All right, y'all. Good night.
Peace.
Hey, share this video too, y'all. Stop being stingy. Hey, black man.
That's right. That's right. Share the video. Stop being stingy. Dusto, what's going on? What are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. People don't want solutions. They don't. How many times they got to prove this to you? Ask them for one. All you hear is that's all you'll hear. So how do you plan on fixing this problem, sir? All day, all night. Give them a solution. They'll talk over you. Don't argue with these people. Just troll them. This space is founded on a lie that somehow these men can come out here and the average man making $40,000 because he got a job, which he needs one, or he's going to go to jail or live in the streets. Come out here complaining, yelling at women, no emotional intelligence, negative attitude, and a victim. And he deserves submission from a woman. 3 kids, a house, a dog, and a sandwich cooked. The answer is no. You deserve to sit there on the panel yelling at these Wigosauruses and the mules and having these problems. Just like when you go out in the real world and you keep talking to these women and they keep telling you no, or ragdolling you up and down the street. There is a gender war. It's between modern women and modern men. Modern women are whooping that ass, spanking that ass, trolling, dusting, crusting, slapping, spanking, slamming, clobbering, molly-whopping, and dragging them all up and down the damn street. And the modern men are crying like women, and soon they'll be wearing skirts and dating each other. By then, I won't even want to troll them anymore. That's what the future is. But right now, get on the panels, troll these dusties, and then get out of there, get off the internet, and go eat a sandwich. That's the solution.
Why?
That's all I got.
Why?
Yeah, go eat a sandwich that you made your spouse because you stopped by the store on the way home from work when they asked you earlier that morning because you listened. You know what I mean?
Low calorie sandwich because
that's
y'all are
right.
fat.
Low cal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, low calorie. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Dusto, as always, for coming through. You got to bring the Dusto spill back, okay? Anyway, we appreciate you coming through. Beautifully animated speaks. You rolling through, okay? At the ninth hour, what's going on, girl?
Hey, I clicked on the link because it was dropped from me.
Yes. How? Have my shape. I'm sorry. I had to remind myself where I was at. Praise God.
Way y'all be finding these clips, bro.
Oh my goodness. He looks like a wrecking ball.
Oh, guess what? Hey, look.
He gonna tear the chair down.
Hey, Sister Jenkins in church. Sister Jenkins checking him out, listening to him like, boy, you sound good up there. You want a biscuit?
Okay. Right. He don't want
no.
His ties are donuts.
Okay.
I need to breathe. Cut it, please. I need to breathe.
Yes. How? Have my shape. I'm sorry. I had to remind myself where I was at. Praise God.
He said, "What? Have my shake."
He can sing some Luther, bro. It'd be a lot of sinning going on. I'm trying to tell y'all, bottom 80, you ain't even got to be in shape. If you could do something good, like he could sing, getting on.
Listen, Biggie Smalls said, black and ugly as ever. However, he said, heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Gucci down to the socks. Come on now. You know what I mean?
Facts. He knew the importance of knowing how to dress and be hygiene, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That stuff matters. I don't give a damn how fine you look.
Listen, if y'all watch that video, I'm sorry.
I ain't sticking around.
If you watch that video again,
my name is Rosa. They say I'm supposed to sit in the back, but I'm tired here, so I'm finna sit right closer. Come get me up then. It's gonna take about 3, 4, 5 men. And I ain't finna repeat myself again. Fight me. Somebody get her. My name is Eve. I didn't believe. I trusted Satan, ate that apple, he deceived. And yeah, I'm naked. I thought I was awakened. I'm the first to do it. Y'all my daughters, we related. Trick on Big Harry. Don't call me slave hoe. The hell? From the underground railroad, bust down mouth of dope. When I say run, you better go. In the dark, that Glocky glow.
I'm sorry.
Don't call me slave hoe.
The hell?
And this who we gonna marry in this community? Those type of women? Okay.
Hey, you gotta give this chick kudos and props for making history so fun.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how kids remember stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
BAS, we thank you for running through. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, like how to argue and like how we can apply it to the YouTube space?
I don't really argue because of my temper, so I debate. Don't be looking at me like David like that.
Oh Lord.
You know, we know I'm looking at you because I know you don't argue. You have those ties. So when you do get angry, there won't be no argument. There'll be some poke holes. Feel you?
Right. So I had to move responsibly, and so therefore, most times arguments lead to fights. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have a debate, and in this debate, we're not using curse words. We're not raising our voices. If you gotta do all that, then it's best to take a break and wait till you cool down and try to get back on topic, right? And then discuss what happens and try to figure it out. But I'm damn sure not sticking around for no cursing at me and no raising the voices because I know that's a trigger.
Noble said, what if he texts it to you? That'll work. He'll send an email. Let me quit.
I mean, you know what? Sometimes putting pen to paper rather is the best way to communicate sometimes. Because if it's a subject or a topic that that will always trigger you to amp up, pop off, and all that stuff, then people cannot fight and go back and forth with paper or text messages. They have to read it through. So you can't cut them off. It's on paper. You can only respond after you've read the whole thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Real quick. Black David has mosquito vagina lips on sale for $14.99 a pound. Add the vodka is good for soothing headaches from wig burn.
Oh my God.
Y'all holla at Black David.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my Lord.
Why?
But
Why?
why? Yes,
Right.
Why?
Why?
Vaginal lips for your headaches. Like, why?
$14.99 a pound. Y'all hurry up. Get on there.
But it's still out, okay?
I wonder what the regular price is.
$59.99.
I'm gonna warn you about it. If you buy this liquor in the neighborhood, you will have more single moms. That right now, that produce more single moms. So don't buy it.
Oh Lord. You have a good night.
You too.
I don't know how Black man, how much of the conversation have you said? Well, we're gonna say you for last. Dre Blanco, what are your thoughts on tonight's conversation?
Tonight's conversation was enlightening. I make a living seeing where when arguments go wrong and what happens when arguments go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's what pays my bills. Watching how folks have the inability to communicate and get their points across without turning into violence. So when you look at it, it's like, what's the point of the argument? Like, let's get down to the root of the issue instead of bringing in shit that's really moving the goalposts and not having a real relevant conversation. We can have a discussion, we can have a debate, but an argument, especially in relationships, is ridiculous. But on this YouTube space, a lot of the argument on here is to be heard, to be YouTube famous, to have clips, talking points, and want to be, have that one liner, that's what it is. Because a lot of the stuff that's being put out on YouTube is just disingenuous. Half the stuff that's being said, they don't even believe what they're saying. Right. So you often hear, don't kill the messenger, but listen to the message. But unfortunately, you have to pay attention to the messenger and the messages because the two are not equal. They're not congruent. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like, understand what you're arguing about and what do you expect to get out of it? What's your point? And just be honest with yourself. Keep it 100. Stop lying to yourself. And that's the thing. We need to stop lying to ourselves. You can't expect to keep it real and talk about you want to be truthful, but you lie to yourself every day. So that's where the argument starts at. Be truthful to yourself. And so you have to argue about a lie.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dre Blanco, for coming through. We appreciate you.
You are not alone. No.
Oh, Lord.
Stick to policing, my brother. Stick to policing and lawyering. Don't be saying,
hey, yo. That's his purpose. You know what I'm saying? They say be on it. Stick to your purpose. That's your purpose. That's his purpose. I'm sorry.
You should try rapping.
Nah, I write poetry, but I don't rap. But y'all hold it down. I do appreciate it. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with supporting great content, and you guys continue to do it. You, DL Saint, y'all awesome. Black man, keep doing what you do, Playboy. Sorry, I can't. Work has me busy, but I'm always here to support you. Keep it up. We need this information.
Oh yeah, you get an applause for that, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
No doubt.
You are a scholar and a gentleman, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good evening.
You too.
All right, bro. Peace.
I know I'm next, but
yeah. What are your thoughts?
my final thought before that, I saw DL who came in with their joke, with a 300-pound joke and everything. I was trying not to laugh too hard, but it's a suspension negotiation. I was like, oh hell no. But other than that, I had to be frank with you guys. There's no point getting into an argument because one thing about argument, no one is debating the facts containing within the argument. Everybody is going to get their feeling across, even though they can be wrong. What I believe is just to avoid argument, talk it out. If the other side does not want to talk it out, keep your peace, walk away from it. Right. Like others have said before, this YouTube space, not just YouTube alone, YouTube, TikTok, social media, people have putting a lot of false light on the platform, which actually don't make no sense. Because when you live in the real world, you're in New York City. It's a city that have almost, how many ethnic groups. You see how these that go operate within their own silo. They're not worried about all the shenanigans.
Right.
On this social media platform.
Yeah.
What they got to do, they build upon that, pass down to the next one to make it better.
Right.
I think that's the problem we're having. The reason why we're at the bottom, because we're not trying to come together and build something so we can pass it down to the next generation. It's all about, let me build my stuff for myself and let me leave nothing behind for the next generation. Let them build their own thing. This is how we lose out. Because there's something my uncle have taught me. To build legacy and build generational wealth, we have to build something that you can have lay behind so the next generation can make it even better. You have to instill the skills and the knowledge behind that. That's why I was trying to explain earlier. Prominent family don't allow nobody married within the family. Meaning, if I'm going to marry a particular woman, she's from my prominent family, they're going to vet me. What kind of parents I have, who do I associate myself with, what kind of job I'm getting, what kind of job do I have, those kind of things before I marry their daughter.
Right, yeah.
We have lost that art that used to be the yesteryear art. Because it's why when it comes to these type of art, you don't know how to build great communities where you can have less argument, more foundational building taking place. And I've noticed that over the years. So when I see all the platform, Steve Harvey, I don't have time for Steve Harvey. He's the ultimate simp. He's a simpler, so I don't care what you say.
Right.
Ebony K. Williams, that talking point is old and dead. It's not working. A lot of guys are not paying in mind to that. People are getting married in an alarming way higher than the black people. When they realize this is what it is. I don't have to waste my time with you. You're not for me, you're not for me. Bye.
Right, yeah.
They find what they're looking for. They come together, they build, they raise great kids, passing on to the next generation, and they continue to do that.
Right.
This is why we are losing. All this crazy talking point, I'm sorry to say this, look outside your world. People are building things for themselves to be better, while we here arguing over crumbs and garbage.
Right,
But
yeah.
to me, I'm not a fan of argument. If we're not here for a solution, was men are solution based, and I was trying to be solution by my uncle, my relative. It's a waste of time.
Right. We appreciate you, Black David. Thank you so much.
I enjoy the comedy, DL. You're a comedy crew that clean us in the chat room. I'm dead serious.
Hey, listen, man.
I'm trying to live. I got grandkids. And what his name is with the 300-pound joke. I'm trying not to cry and die here.
Yeah, that's Sell You Like podcast. That was Sell You Like podcast.
Later, the boys drop the discount code.
That store is in Texas.
No.
All these stuff you see that they think I'm selling it. Here's the problem. Black man near the border. That's how he getting all these stuff. He's importing it illegally. I'm in New York City. You know how hard it is to import enter in New York City? I'll get arrested. You won't see me on the platform. That's why Black David make it. Well, black men on Fence making all that money. I get no cut. You put my name on it. You put my face on the products. Say I'm selling it while he making a huge killing. I still haven't got paid for last year still. What's up?
Mosquito vagina. Was it mosquito vagina lips? What was it again? For $14.99 a pound. Lord have mercy, that's funny.
Since you want to act for that, hear what he was selling.
They dropped the code. It's B David 23. They go to discount codes, y'all. Hurry up now. The sale ends in 15 minutes now. Y'all better hurry up. And
wow. You don't have me to speed. Really now? This is what I was trying to avoid. Last year, this how they did me dirty. It was Black Man. It was So Hell Speak. It was Queen Smiley. And Mandrell. Now a new year, new thing now, Willie. I need help.
We need that Black Man Unfiltered blue, that blue siren light. It's like the blue light special. Blue light special for all you old folks. It was Kmart back in the day.
Thank you so much.
I need a cut for all these laughter. If you making all these laughter, I need a cut because y'all be roasting me up in here.
So we're gonna bring it to our final thoughts. Thank you so much, DL. Again for co-hosting with me. What are your final thoughts?
I lost all train of thought. I'm sorry. It was a good conversation. Thanks for having me on. This is a damn good conversation. Definitely needs to be had. And you're right. This gender war thing, I think we could do better. I think we could bridge that gap, but people got to be willing to do the work, and no one's going to do the work. I'm convinced of that. It's simply everyone does not get a trophy. I don't care what your mom and daddy told you growing up. I don't believe in participation awards.
Yeah.
And we're in that generation. Everyone expects something for nothing. So with that in mind, if everybody gets something for nothing, well, all right, just had the government pay all Black men $10 million. How about that? Now we all top tier, right? Make us all millionaires. Now we all, oh, there you go. You know, these sisters won't have no problem with us now. Yeah, I own the bus, baby. Come on. But in lieu of that, I mean, I don't have the answer for you. I mean, how about some realistic secondary goals? There's nothing wrong with having that primary goal for men and women. There's nothing wrong with having that primary goal, but if you don't hit those goals, you know, you're going to have some secondary options as well. Because at the end of the day, we live this many times. And you want to be happy. You don't want to be unhappy. And like I said before, if you're in a relationship, you ain't angry. If you're in a relationship and you happy, people don't be fighting. It's when something goes wrong at home that they get all worked up and want to blame everybody else.
That's true. That's true. As far as tonight, how to argue. If you guys missed the earlier part of the stream, please go back and watch it. We talked about actual strategy or ways to have an effective conversation or to how to effectively get through an argument. And I had 3 points by the director of the Harvard International Negotiation Program. And, one of them, just a quick recap, one of them was to know who is identity, know who you are, what your beliefs are, and where you stand in the conversation. Number one, know what the conversation, what the argument is about. And number two, know what your position is in, or what your beliefs are in the argument, and stand on it. Well, and remain calm, remain cool, so you don't get overly emotional or emotionally triggered, because that's what derails the argument in the first place. Number two, listen to the person you're having an argument with. This is so important, especially on these panels, when we have panel discussions, especially in this whole gender war and the dating marketplace.
Sexual marketplace.
It's right, dating sexual marketplace, because it's important, because I don't think nobody's really listening to each other. You know what I mean? And also acknowledging, to the other person that, you heard what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? They'll say, hey, I hear you. You know what I mean? And finally, the third point was, find a common ground. Find a common ground. Nobody is actually willing to get off of their position or get out of their egos and out of this fantasy thinking to actually try and reach a common ground. And that's part of the problem on these panels. When we have panel discussions, a lot of these conversations that keep coming up specifically, which is why I'm talking to bring up the whole, gender war thing, because it's been going on so long and no one's come to a common ground. I think people don't have to start, like you were saying, DL, number one, start having some secondary goals, because the primary goals just ain't working. You know what I mean? It's not. And if anything, it's just things are getting worse. So, I think people need to start having a tough, realistic conversation with themselves. And also start thinking about learning how to negotiate. You know what I'm saying?
Which is next week, right?
Exactly. Which is going to be the conversation next week. How to negotiate.
Look at that segue. Well, she act like she in the business. She's doing it like she in the business.
People don't know how to negotiate either, and how that translates into relationships is compromise. What are you willing to compromise, or what are you willing to give up? Especially in this dating sexual marketplace value, because everybody's not getting what they want, which is the big problem too. So how do you need to start thinking about it's give and take. What are you willing to give up in replace for that?
Real talk. And when y'all had that talk with yourselves, don't have it outside and out loud. Don't be like, you need to give up some goals. You need to give up some goals. They don't do that. They come get you.
Well, I don't know. May is mental health awareness month. So anyway, thank y'all so much, everybody in the comments and everybody for watching. We appreciate y'all so much for supporting the show. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back here next week for another episode of Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shushu. And thank you so much. Please support DL Saint also. I really want to know podcast on his YouTube channel. So with that being said, y'all have a good night.
Hashtag make me a sandwich, Shushu. Good night, y'all.
Hashtag
in it, baby, just in a town. I'm on the edge, I ain't coming down. I get too high, I'm afraid of the ground. I'm young and I'm paid to play with these sounds. Ignoring the call, she shutting that down. Started at the top, and I'm taking it down off the champagne. Took a break from the brown on a rampage. I've been giving it brown. Shawty been solid some time now. I'm on line for the wine, dine, and I'm with it. Look where we started and look where we at. I can see where we headed, but I can't see me finish. 3 years ago, I was down on my life, was stuck at the crib. I couldn't get out of my bed. Then I realized it's all in my head, and I can't go back to the past, yeah. It's up now, I'm moving, put all in the music for more like a movement is brewing. I cannot picture us losing. I'm sharp when I shoot it, the world is my tutor. She wanna lay block in public, but know that I'm published, we settle for safety. Not in the street, but I'm on the same muscle, that schedule been driving her crazy. They talk like they know me, but know that they bluffing unless it's somebody that pays me. Keep minding your business, the money been printed, my nigga just gotta go get it. I'm in the zone through the winter. I'm trying to see Rome, see Venice. I'm at the summit, I'm thumbing my budget, my nigga. It's nothing, just part of Miami.